to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Guys, I want to talk to you for a minute, man to man, about erectile dysfunction and PE. How are you doing in the bedroom? Are you still the man you used to be? Or are you feeling the disappointment of ED? Are you experiencing the embarrassment of PE? Happens to a lot of us. That's why you should call Paramount Men's Medical Center. Their licensed physicians can help solve your problem. They'll talk to you about ED or PE. They'll offer custom blended medications. There's no pain or surgery. And you'll see results right in the office at Paramount Men's Medical Center. If Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, men are now lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history. And it's affordable. So, man to man, contact Paramount Men's Medical Center now for a private consultation. You'll see results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your exam is free. Call 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Spark Coworking St. Louis is a new collaborative workspace located within the PwC Pennant Building in Ballpark Village. The Spark Coworking community supports the thriving St. Louis entrepreneurial ecosystem, where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within one district. The all-inclusive workspace includes furnished month-to-month offices and suites with stadiums, city, and arch views, concierge mail service, nitro cold brew coffee on tap, and so much more. Call 314-278-5297 or visit spark-stl.com.
All the news and all that matters to you. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
All right, we continue on with the show on KMOX. Obviously, you can find us on Twitter at the show KMOX. And Amy is out today. She'll be back, I believe, on Tuesday. She thinks maybe Monday, but I think she's going to be a little worn out from the marathon coming up this weekend. But we will get an update one way or another and let you know how all that goes. And we'll report back on Monday. Amy will tell us the full story about that coming up on Tuesday. Chris Ranji, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Happy to be joined by Thane Rosenbaum. Thane is a CBS News Radio legal analyst and kind of looking ahead to the hearings that are scheduled today. And Thane, first of all, thank you for doing this. Good to catch up. Hope things are well. What are your thoughts? What are your takeaways from what we've seen so far before we even get to today?
Well, hi, Chris. Hey, Kevin. So we've had a couple days, and they've tried to establish a few things. First of all, the first day was very dramatic, and it was the images, some of which we had not yet seen, about the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers actually breaking into the Capitol, right? The actual scenes from the riot, the insurrection. And then we saw another day that was really focused on what the president knew or what he should have known, given what his advisors were telling him. So that evidence seemed to be suggesting that the president simply refused to take in any of the news that he had lost. Every time, it was like he was moving from spot to spot. Somebody told him something, he didn't get the right answer, he went to someone else. And so that was what that evidence was seeking to establish. Today, we're supposed to hear evidence about how the president and his lawyers tried to pressure Vice President Pence and his attorneys for him to not certify the election during that congressional hearing on January 6th and to instead replace the slate of electors in the battleground states with a different slate of electors that would have voted for the president. So that's sort of what we've seen so far. The question is, what does it add up to? And we're not yet in my mind, we're not yet at a sort of a criminal indictment. Certainly that ties the president to the break-in itself.
To this point, and you've said the phrase that they've tried to make the case, in your opinion, have they so far, with what they've attempted to do, made their case well?
Depends on what the case is, right? If the case is, was the president involved in a criminal conspiracy directly, a causal connection? That's what's required under the law, right? It's a conspiracy means the three of us, Thane, Kevin, and Chris, met, talked about it, planned it. And that's what ties us to the conspiracy. There's no evidence that links the White House with the people that actually broke in. There are all these sort of disparate connecting the dots, things the president said, things that he tweeted, things that he was saying even before the election. But that's not enough for an actual criminal conspiracy for something called seditious conspiracy. Now, on the other hand, they might have something, and again, this is for the Justice Department. Congress doesn't have any prosecutorial jurisdiction. They'd have to refer the case to the Justice Department and say, would you please bring a criminal indictment against the president and his people for this? What they might have is something that is called, it's also a federal crime, obstruction of a federal proceeding, of an official federal proceeding. This was an official federal proceeding. It was a congressional vote to certify the election. And did the president engage with his people to try to disrupt the meeting? Even if it wasn't a conspiracy, did he take steps that disrupted the meeting? That there seems to be more evidence for that, if any. The question is, will the Justice Department pursue it? I don't know if they would in an election year. It looks too political to me.
That's a really good point. And even if that's not the intent, appearance matters when you're talking about elections and whether it's midterms or a presidential election. I think you make a good point there. So in your experience, Thane, how, given that this is not a legal proceeding and they are not going to come up with a quote unquote conviction, they'll come up with a recommendation or just release findings, if you will. If you were going to prosecute this type of thing, a conspiracy thing, how hard is that in general? Because obviously, minus wiretaps or videos showing conversations, I mean, you're like you said, you're kind of putting you're trying to tie together a lot of strings around a lot of those little push pins.
No, you're absolutely right. Look, our country, we're different from other democracies. It's really, really hard to be found guilty of a crime unless you were the one that pulled the trigger, right? I mean, that's why we created conspiracies in the law, right? That's why we did it, because our system is very focused on, did you act and did your action cause this thing? That's how our system works. Causal connection between acts, causations, and harm, right? So the question is, you're sitting, that's how we got the whole thing. If you're driving the getaway car, and someone in a bank robbery shoots the security guard, that's what conspiracy is there to do, to tie the person who's in the getaway car to the shooting, because he didn't shoot the gun. He's just sitting in the getaway car. That's where conspiracies come from. It's a way to overcome this evidentiary hurdle, which is, I was just the accountant. I never left my office. How could you possibly think I did that? Well, if you have an agreement with the people that are doing it and you know they were going to do it and you were going to be the accountant, you get tied in for conspiracy purposes. That's going to be really hard to show here unless they've got email, text messages, phone conversations directly between the Oval Office and the people that were engaged in actually breaking into Congress. Otherwise, that's why you heard the other day mail fraud and wire fraud, right? Remember?
Right.
That comes up because they don't really have this other stuff. So here was a new legal theory, which is, were you raising money, Mr. President, to overturn the election when you knew that you lost? If you were using the mail system or the wire system to solicit funds for a fraudulent purpose when you knew you lost, then that's what we're going to bring against you, charges for mail fraud. So that the reason you're starting to see these other theories precisely is because of the point you just raised. Conspiracy is going to be hard to do to tie right now, based on what we've seen, tying the president, the Oval Office, and the people that actually crashed through the building.
Thane, we have about 30 seconds to go here, and the focus of today is Mike Pence and what his authority was and what they asked him to do. What is that authority, and what are the safeguards in place to make sure the next vice president doesn't try to pull something like this?
It depends on what we think the founding fathers decided. Was this a ceremonial act that day on January 6th? The vice president just sits there and watches the counting of each state giving you their electoral results? Or did he have constitutional authority to go, wait a minute, something's rotten in Denmark. I don't like what's going on. I think we need to replace these votes with other slate of voters that represent the actual will of the people? or we need to kick it back to the Congress and let them decide. It's never been tested. What was his authority? He received legal advice from a federal judge who told him, that's Lutwig, I think, is going to be speaking today, who said that he had no constitutional authority at all to interfere with the results. This was merely a pro forma counting, certification of the votes. Nothing else was supposed to happen on that day.
Thane, great stuff. We really appreciate your insight. I look forward to talking again sometime. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Anytime.
You got it. Thane Rosenbaum is CBS News radio legal analyst. It's kind of talking about the legal angles. These are the things that the committee has to not necessarily prove, but they have to provide enough information for the DOJ to act on it. And they can make recommendations. They can release their findings, but this is what they are really charged with putting out there so that we understand exactly what did or didn't happen. We'll have more on this coming up a little bit later on here on the show.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
This is Corey from Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling, here to tell you about an organization that is near and dear to our company and one we've been proud to sponsor, Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight flies World War II, Korea, and Vietnam War veterans to Washington, D.C. for free to see their memorials. Greater St. Louis Honor Flight is looking for you. If you know of a veteran, please sign them up for their honor flight. Or if you'd like to lend your support, visit gslhonorflight.org. And for all things heating and cooling, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
At 10:30, we have 88 degrees. It feels like 95 downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel. Here's what's happening. The family of a Mizzou fraternity pledge left severely disabled following a hazing ritual continues to push for criminal charges. 19-year-old Daniel Santulli is blind and in a wheelchair following the incident last October. Settlements have been reached in a civil lawsuit against the Phi Gamma Delta fraternity and local members, but the 19-year-old's father believes that criminal charges should be filed. Parts of the Midwest still recovering from damaging storms Monday got hit by tornadoes yesterday. The new storms tore apart homes and businesses in Wisconsin and Iowa. New insight into a growing medical concern. People with diabetes and heart disease have double the risk of developing dementia, according to researchers in Sweden. The study among the first to look at diabetes and heart disease simultaneously and their relation to the risk of dementia. Let's take a look at your commute. Watch for a stalled vehicle eastbound 70 past Route TW. It is on the right shoulder, and they're still cleaning up debris northbound 270 past 64. Now the center lanes are closed and could be closed for another 20 minutes. There's a stall westbound 44 past Lewis Road. That is on the right shoulder. And the KMOX forecast, sponsored by STL Windows Direct. We're looking at another day of record heat. The high could hit 100. Right now it's 88. It feels like 95 downtown at the Arch. I'm Carol Daniel, KMOX News.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey everyone, I'm Ron Darling.
And I'm Jimmy Rollins.
The official baseball rulebook is full of all sorts of strange rules.
But the unwritten rulebook is even weirder.
We each come from different eras, and we each were taught to play the game in different ways.
In this new podcast series, we're going to break down all of the unwritten rules that govern the game, from throwing out a batter to stealing bases during a blowout.
Check out Unwritten from Odyssey and MLB. New episodes start June 1st.
Find it on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at ThrottleNet. These are the genius IT guys that I've been representing for years and years now. We are number one all the time. Best in customer service from Small Business Monthly. Best in cybersecurity, again, Small Business Monthly. We have an average response time. I love this statistic. The average response time in St. Louis in 2020 by IT companies. You have a problem, you reach out to them, hey, I'm all shut down, help me, was 3 hours. If you got back within 3 hours, you were cool. Ours was 1 minute, 57 seconds, and the guys were very unhappy with that. It takes less than 2 minutes for us to address your problems. Here's a huge thing. We are now offering $500,000 in ransom protection to everyone who uses us. This is part of the deal. You don't pay extra for it. So if you happen to be hit and you have to pay, we're going to pay it up to $500,000. Now, this shows you how confident we are because no one under our protection has ever had to pay. Go to throttlenet.com/DGS.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold at Newbold Toyota. If you're worried about gas prices, Toyota has the most models of hybrid electrics in the industry. From the best-selling Camry to the best-selling RAV4, we've got it all. So come see us. That's Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
At 420id.com, we make it easy to get your Missouri medical marijuana card. Dispensaries are open and inventory is in, so why wait? 420ID is the only company that provides you with a real plastic ID card and have served over 19,000 happy Missouri patients. Open late every day until 9 p.m. If we can't approve you, you pay nothing at 420id.com. Today is the day to sign up for your Missouri medical marijuana card at 420id.com. Use promo code radio and save $30 today. That's 420id.com.
Boy, the financial headlines are concerning. Runaway inflation, taxes going up, wild swings in the market, and maybe another recession. It's no wonder that 57% of people getting ready for retirement are worried. But what if I told you the secret to taking control of your financial future is right there at your fingertips? Yes, it's the phone that you're looking at right now. Call Steve All and the team at the All Financial Group. They're hosting an exclusive educational event on July 13th at St. Peter's Cultural Arts Center. They'll discuss topics like building more income and paying fewer taxes in retirement. The event is complimentary, but seats do fill up fast. Call today, 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or go to yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC. The All Financial Group and Retirement Wealth Advisors are not affiliated. The All Financial Group is a financial services firm that offers a broad array of products and services, including life insurance and annuities. Licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Friday night, it's the Cards and Red Sox. Ameren pregame show 5:15. First pitch 6:10 on KMOX and streaming on KMOX.com.
Chris Raji, Kevin Wheeler with you on the show. Amy is out today, tomorrow, probably Monday as well. She's running a marathon up in Minnesota this weekend. So good luck to Amy, and we'll check in. Hopefully it's not too hot. You said it's going to be okay. So hopefully it'll be nice and smooth and she can get through the race and be happy. But she's obviously nervous. She's always nervous before races. I would be too. I mean, nervous as hell if I had to go run 26 miles because, first of all, I would never finish it.
No.
I think my max would be my max right now, Brett, might be 7. If I could walk some of it.
On top of all of it, well, you have to be able to walk. Or I could do it if I cut in mile 20.
Yeah. Make it easy.
Yeah, just kind of like Kramer.
So we'll have Amy back next week, and she's obviously got a big weekend ahead of her.
Yeah, and she's trying to come back on Monday.
We told her,
I'm just telling you right now, if I was running a marathon, which is not going to happen, but if I were to do that, the likelihood of me working the next day or 2 days later is 0.6.
Yeah. Unless I was going to do it from
happening.
home on the couch.
Yeah.
Kind of laid up with ice packs everywhere.
Yeah.
And yeah.
She's insane.
Yeah.
But she might be here Monday.
Yeah, probably. We keep telling her no. Take your time.
Just stay home.
Just recover. You'll be okay. We're going to ruin it anyway. So 1 extra day is not going to matter. We're going to ruin it the next 2 days. So it doesn't matter if we ruin it.
If I cut the grass, I'm not working the next day.
I got to cut the grass tonight. Should I take tomorrow off?
I guess you might as well. Dave and I will handle it.
All right, so we're going to change gears for a few minutes here. We got our Redbird report. We'll talk more detailed Cardinals conversation coming up at 12:30. This is a baseball story, but not really. This happened in New Jersey. Now, Ron, I'll be heading to Indianapolis after the show tomorrow for a tournament. I coach 14-year-old baseball. I've been coaching junior high and high school age players, in games for the organization I'm with, the Gamers, for 9-10 years. I've been doing this as an instructor, private instructor and other things for 20 plus years. I did that in Chicago before I moved to St. Louis. I'm coaching and youth baseball. Those are a big part of my life. They are not daily, but 4 or 5 day a week things for me from basically January until the end of July. Okay. Big part of what I do. I see a lot. I've never seen what I'm about to describe to you. Thankfully, I've never seen it. But there's a story out of New Jersey where a coach in a 13U baseball game broke the jaw of the umpire after some kind of disputed call, or it sounds like there was some back and forth during the game, like there was some, barking, and you see a lot of that. It's a pretty regular thing. But the umpire's 72 years old, and this coach, who according to a witness was, quote, built like a linebacker, broke the 72-year-old umpire's jaw, sucker punched him in the face, and then ran away. Nothing says I didn't do anything wrong, like running away, number one. But then other parents were heard saying he deserved it.
Ugh.
And we've seen it a little bit. I know it was a bigger thing in high school baseball, but there are a lot of organizations, a lot of tournaments that are having trouble having staffing umpires, because obviously it's not big money. Although depending on where you're working, it can be pretty good money. But is it worth the craziness? And people hear a thing like this, and it's obviously terrible that somebody had their jaw broken. This can be way more serious.
Right.
I mean, a guy that I went to high school with was officiating a men's soccer league game. I want to say this is maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Pulled a red card on a dude, and the dude sucker punched him, killed him on the spot. He died right there from the punch to the face.
That dude's in prison still,
and
right?
that person is in prison.
Good.
Forever. We ask these questions like, how are we the country that has all the gun problems? How are we the country? This is it. We are way too angry.
Well, now this does happen in other countries. If you watch soccer matches, some parts of the world,
sure.
Soccer
refs have been murdered.
And I know
over
that,
games.
and it's not just the professional ranks. It's not just like, English Premier League or any of these top line leagues where it's happening. Sometimes they're recreational men's leagues where referees get swarmed and beaten up. So it does happen in other places. The most I umpired up to high school age kids. I never did college or anything above that. And just in Park District rec leagues, the parents, not all of them, but the parents were awful. And I'm I'm 20 years old. I think when I started doing it, I was 16 or 17. And I did it until about 2021. And, I'm an amateur at this thing. And people are so vicious. Like when you mess up, or sometimes when you don't mess up, because what they know is you just called their baby out, and their baby can't be out. How did you do that? My son's always safe. I don't understand how you get to that level and how you don't. I know it's your kid. I know you love him. I know you want him to do well. I got news for you, though. He's not going to be a big leaguer. Your son statistically speaking, your son is not going to be a big leaguer. So this is recreation. This is supposed to be for fun.
But also people
set a good example for them.
Yeah.
Don't be jerks.
But even if your kid is going to be a big leaguer,
doesn't matter.
That one call isn't changing anything.
No,
that game isn't changing anything.
And I'm glad
about
you said
that process. I mean, your kid could be Mike Trout. If that kid is in a game and he gets hosed by a call, or the team loses and they miss out on the next game, or they don't win a trophy, it will have zero impact on your child's future. I'm zero. Nobody evaluating talent is going to be like, well, didn't get to play in that championship game when he was 13U, so we can't scout him anymore.
Extremely happy you said that, because it was not too long ago. I was having never have an online argument, but I was having an online argument because I believe I posted a story similar to this, where an umpire, a ref, or whatever gets beaten up, and somebody did come in with that defense, because I said, your kid's not going pro. Okay. And even if he was going to, this game isn't going to matter. This one play isn't going to matter.
No.
And this guy was adamant that it could. No. This could affect a scholarship.
Zero chance.
It's not.
Nobody cares. No college coach, no professional scout cares about what your statistics are.
Right, because they come in, they look at you, and they go, that's a scholarship.
Well,
guy.
They're also going to look at you in a showcase setting. For those that are familiar, the organization Perfect Game holds, and there's others, PBR is another one that does the same thing, where they host showcases all across the country. And that's where you go to a field or a facility and they record your velocity, your exit velocity when you're hitting. They evaluate your fit. It is. It's a combine. It's essentially, and it happens a lot. So kids go to these things over and over again several times a year. And it comes down to where you're seen, too. So if you go to the big tournaments, as an example, next month I'll be out for a while because our team, we're going to go to Hoover, Alabama for a really big perfect game tournament. Now, I have 14-year-olds. We're not going to have a bunch of college coaches there. It's just not going to happen. But at 15, they are. 16, they are. 17, they are. That's where you're going. You're going to be seen in some of those big regionalized tournaments. And so like for that one I'm talking about, when when they hold that particular tournament, for the 17U level, there are over 300 teams there. And there are probably almost as many college coaches that are there. They're evaluating you, but they are not going to say, oh, that kid went 1 for 2. They don't care. They don't care what your stats are. They don't care if your team wins. What they want to see is how hard do you hit the ball? How fast do you run? How hard do you throw? What kind of command do you have? What secondary pitches do you have? How do you conduct yourself? And that gets back to what you're talking about with setting the good example. They don't want the whiny kid. They don't want the kid that's going to slam his helmet because he popped out or lined out. They don't want the kid that's going to be barking at the umpire or giving him a dirty look. They want the people that understand you're going to fail and you deal with it and you move on. And it's amazing to me in watching it. Now, I'm not going to tell you, Runge. I mean, you know me. You know that I have a temper. I'm not going to tell you I've never yelled at an umpire. I will tell you I've never threatened one.
Well,
I will tell you.
You'd be an idiot if you did.
Yes,
and
it's exactly right.
If I ever find out you do, I'm calling you.
You're right. And look, I know a lot of the guys in town because you see them all the time. It's ludicrous to be that upset. It's one thing to say to someone, you're not doing your job well enough and you need to do your job better.
And I would
it's
imagine
another thing entirely to be violent about it and to be worried about the result, because the win and the loss just doesn't matter.
And I would imagine that if your kid is being recruited and it's between, I don't know how often this happens, but if it's between your kid and somebody else and you have similar skill sets, but dad is a complete jerk, I would imagine they go for the guy whose dad is not a complete jerk.
They tend to not care about that because once you're on a college campus, parents are not relevant. They're not around. They're not involved. The coach will not take your call. He will not answer your email. He will not talk to you.
But it ain't helping you.
No, but you're right.
It's not helping.
And the point that I try to get across to kids, and our organization does too, is you don't want to lose tiebreakers because a lot of kids are similarly gifted.
That can be a tiebreaker.
And the tiebreakers are, how do you conduct yourself? Do you hustle? Are you a whiner? Do you have bad body language? Are you showing yourself to be a team player versus an individual who's just there to be seen? They do evaluate those. All of those things can be tiebreakers. Now, if you're clearly better than another person, you're still better than the other person. But I would say the vast majority of players are very similar. They're in a range. Yeah. And what are the things that set you apart? And attitude is one of those things. They don't want to see pouty people. They don't want to see bad attitudes. And setting an example is a good thing. Now, I'll tell you this. I'm sure high school coaches don't appreciate parents that are going to be barking because they won't hear it. Again, they're not going to talk to you. They don't want your email. They don't want your text. They're not going to listen to you. And it is amazing how seriously. And I saw this a couple weeks ago at our field. We were playing, again, 14 years on a field next to us were 10-year-olds. Threw the mom out because the mom would not stop yelling at the umpires from the stands. And then everybody else starts yelling. And then the coaches start yelling. It gets 10U, man. None of it matters. Have fun. You're not being evaluated. Nobody's scouting your 10-year-old. Make it fun. Teach them to be better and keep it on.
I had a coach, mom. It was a mom coach. And she threw a baseball at me one time. I think the kids were they were like 11. And
anything like that happens if I were an umpire, I'm walking
and
off.
I did not mess up.
I'm seeing you.
I'll tell you what I did. There were two of us. I was in the field. There was a home plate umpire. 2 strikes on a kid. Kid squares around a bunt, pops it foul. And nobody bats an eye. Play keeps going. Well, the kid's out.
Yeah, it's a strikeout.
It's a strikeout.
Yeah.
And the guys, the kids on the other team, nobody catches it. And the kid on the other team's getting ready to pitch. And I go, wait, hold on, stop. And so I stopped.
Because the home plate umpire didn't call it.
The home plate umpire didn't get it. The teams didn't get it, but I did.
Because you're smart.
Yeah, because I'm smart. And I'm like, that's a strikeout, you doofuses. And the kid who struck out, I think his mom was the coach. I think it was his mom. And she's like, you can't do that. And she had a baseball and threw it at me.
Yeah, that's where you walk off and go home. All right, hang tight. Chris Raji, Kevin Wheeler with you here on the show.
Hi there, it's John Hancock for First Mid Bank and Trust. They're a community-focused organization. They put so much money back into the communities where they serve. They've been around for 157 years. If you're looking for a bank, check them out. They got 19 locations here in the greater St. Louis area. Plenty of small business professionals to work with. They got insurance experts. Whether you're saving for your first home, paying off debt, or planning for retirement, First Mid Bank is the place for you. Go check them out online, firstmid.com. You'll be glad you did.
Race fans, this is Frank Bomarito. The Bomarito Automotive Group 500 Race to the Savings Sales event is back, and you're the winner at every Bomarito location. When you purchase or lease any new or pre-owned vehicle, pick your best deal and receive 2 tickets to the Bomarito Automotive Group 500. That's the Race to the Savings Sales event going on now. Details at Bomarito.com. See you at the track.
Manor Grove has been caring for seniors for over a century. Everyone at Manor Grove is treated like family, and that's exactly how our residents should feel, like family. Our staff strives to make Manor Grove feel like home. Be assured, your loved one will be well taken care of at Manor Grove. The entire Manor Grove team views everyone inside as family and looks forward to seeing residents and coworkers every day. See for yourself at manorgrove.com and take our virtual tour. Welcome home to Manor Grove.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Indoor plumbing, been around for decades, right? Well, when you have a problem with it, you need a plumber, and Beast Plumbing wants to be that plumber. I'll give you their contact information at the end of this, so get your phone ready so you can punch in their information. But when it comes to the flavor of the water that comes out of your tap, they have ways that they can improve that with different water filter systems, reverse osmosis systems. They are water treatment specialists at Beast Plumbing, and they can take care of that for you. Something simple like not enough water pressure coming out of your shower head, Beast Plumbing can take care of that too. And they've got another thing that's going on for the month of June. They've got $40 off all hose bibs. And a hose bib is a small faucet attachment on the outer wall of your home that gets you water to your backyard or to your driveway to wash your vehicle. No problem. Beast Plumbing's got that deal going. Get a hold of them as soon as you can by calling 314-698-1154 or beastplumbing.com. That's BEIS plumbing.com. Tell them Bo Matthews sent you to Beast Plumbing.
What are you watching?
Those governor candidates accusing each other. It's awful. I've done my research and I'm voting for Gary Rabine. Gary Rabine talks about real issues, slashing property taxes, loosening restrictions on businesses, and supporting law enforcement. Rabine built one of America's largest paving companies from scratch.
I'm Gary Rabine. I can and will beat Pritzker. Let's turn Illinois around. It's Rabine time.
Paid for by Rabine for governor.
Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andrew Royer. The doctors' doctors. They've treated more doctors than any other practice in St. Louis.
You have more control over how much you pay in taxes when you retire than at any other time in your life. Don't miss Your Retirement Professors. Saturday afternoons at 1 on St. Louis's News Radio. KMOX.
When you discover a new favorite bottle of Cabernet or bourbon at Total Wine, you'll discover a whole lot more. So explore the wondrous selection and totally low prices at TotalWine.com, where you'll love what you find. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly, B21.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great! Because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
Community Living Incorporated is a local nonprofit organization on a mission to provide services and create opportunities for people with disabilities. See how you can get involved at communitylivingmo.org.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Chris Ranji.
Wonderful bones, great eyes, and you dress really interesting.
On the show.
All right, just a few minutes left in this hour. Coming up after the top of the hour, we're going to start talking a bit about what we're going to be doing in the St. Louis region with some of the Rams settlement money and how it's going to be split up and how they're going to go about that. We'll have more on the Senate hearings later on, maybe play a little bit of that for you as well. Before we do that, though, Ranj, are you okay?
Dude, I'm triggered.
Are you?
I am so triggered right now.
I mean, if you're looking at it on Facebook, facebook.com/KMOX1120, you can see the I don't. Is it fear, tension?
It's anxiety.
Anxiety on Ranji's face.
I feel now like worse than Jack Flaherty felt last night in his start when he said he was anxious.
See, I think he was more excited. You're not excited.
No, I'm not excited.
You're
I'm very
nervous.
anxious. Yeah, very nervous. Because you can follow us on Twitter, and we want you to
and you can tweet at us, and we will answer and talk. And
as long as you say
and you might be on the air if you trigger one
or hate. And I hate this tweet. Somebody tweeted at the show KMOX.
It's Dan.
It's Dan. Dan has tweeted a photo, and all it says is for Ranji's nightmare, and it is a photo of what is clearly an aircraft carrier. Is the bow the front? The bow is the front, and the stern
idea.
Is the stern the back?
I don't know. I thought that was a radio host.
No, that's Howard.
Oh.
I think the stern is the back. Whatever the front of the aircraft carrier is, it is the front, and it's water level.
Yeah,
and there's a lady,
and a not a young lady.
It's not a young lady. And there's a couple of people in kayaks,
small boats. I think those are
very.
No, that's a kayak. You're right.
That's a kayak.
Yeah.
So there are like 3 people in kayaks. There's a lady in the front, and they are 40 feet away from this aircraft carrier.
Honestly, it's hard to tell because the boat is so big.
It is an aircraft carrier.
Yeah,
like you can't. It doesn't get any bigger.
Like you can't see the top of it from where they are. That's how big it is. And that's how small their little kayaks are.
If you are just listening for the first time, I have this outrageous and totally ridiculous fear,
irrational,
very irrational, of being in a little boat up close to a really big boat. I don't know why. I'm terrified.
This one, by the way, this
it.
one is clearly docked. I mean, like you can see almost the very
it's
bottom.
Not moving.
It's clearly like it's like locked into position. It's not floating at the moment.
It kind of looks like it's out of service and maybe being decommissioned,
or maybe it's being worked on. Whatever.
I don't know. But this lady
she looks happy.
She looks very happy.
She's smiling.
Man, I couldn't do this.
She got the oars in her hand. She's like ready to go.
You would be pulling me out of the water.
Now, I would understand it if that big boat is moving.
Well, either way,
if
it doesn't matter.
If it's not even moving or running and it's docked, that would still freak you out.
Yeah.
That's a great picture. I'm going to retweet that.
Yeah, I am too. I don't ever want to look at it again, but I am going to retweet it so you can see what this is my worst nightmare. This is it. Well, no, it's being arrested and going to prison for a crime I did not commit. That's number one. This is number
and that's
2.
actually,
that's legit.
As we found in the news, that actually can happen.
It's a legitimate fear.
I don't know what you're worried about with the big boat.
I don't know. I think that
did you like see like the Poseidon Adventure or something when you were a kid and
I don't know,
had a bad impact on you?
I'm thinking that in a former life, I was probably in a boat accident.
In a former life? Wait a minute. You believe in former lives?
I don't know. Kevin, I can't say no. I don't know. Maybe I've been reincarnated.
I just wanted to I was just curious as to who you might have been in your past lives.
Well, dead, pulled under a big boat. I drowned, probably.
You're listening to the show on KMOX.
With Pedal the Cause, you can make a real difference in the fight against cancer. Ride your bike, grab a spot in the spin zone, volunteer, and join the celebration September 23rd through 25th. 100% of participant-raised funds support innovative cancer research at Siteman Cancer Center and Siteman Kids at St. Louis Children's Hospital. Together, we can create a world without cancer. Get started now at pedalthecause.org. That's pedalthecause.org.
CertaPro commercial painters have powers beyond those of ordinary painters.
Power of minimal disruption.
We work with you to ensure a smooth project,
The power of making you look good.
making sure it's done right, on time and within budget, so every property manager looks like a hero. That's CertaPro painters.
The power of pro.
Get your project started at CertaPro.com.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
She was a force of nature. He got swept up. Join Opera Theater of St. Louis for its 2022 festival season, which opens with an all-new production of Bizet's iconic opera, Carmen. Sparks fly when the beautiful Carmen meets the young soldier Don Jose, and they quickly begin a passionate affair. Jose is ready to sacrifice everything for Carmen, but when Carmen leaves him for the bullfighter Escamillo, a tangled web of lust and obsession play out to fatal effect. This timeless tale of seduction, individuality, and betrayal features some of the most beloved melodies in all of classical music. The 2022 festival season also features Mozart's whimsical fairy tale, The Magic Flute, and 2 world premiere operas, Awakenings, based on the true story of Dr. Oliver Sacks, and a new performing edition of Harvey Milk, inspired by the life and death of the gay civil rights icon. Tickets start at just $25. Learn more at experienceopera.org.
KMOX, KEZK, HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The home of the Cardinals, KMOX.
An Odyssey station.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, 314-946-9999. We also are real estate agents, and a lot of times when people call, they want options, retail or wholesale directly to me. But we are listing property as real estate agents. So if you want to sell your house and you're not sure which route you want to go, we can provide you an option when you're selling. Clayman Group is where you can go. 314-946-9999. Call today so we can talk about options.
Attention business owners. This is a public awareness message from the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team. The war against hackers and ransomware is underway. The only way to prevent the war from impacting your business is to speak with the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team immediately. You need to act now. The ThrottleNet cybersecurity team is prepared to protect you against cyber threats. Schedule a meeting right away by visiting throttlenet.com/cyberwar.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, it's a sunny sky, 91 degrees downtown at the Arch. It feels like 100. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour. Severe weather has forced Abbott Nutrition to pause production at a Michigan baby formula factory that had just restarted after being closed for several months, contributing to a national shortage. A nationwide recall closed the plant for several months, which led to the nationwide shortage of formula. In testimony today before a Senate committee, FDA Commissioner Dr. Robert Califf weighed in on the issue and what's being done to return to production.
I do want to reassure parents and caregivers that the all-of-government work to increase supply means we'll have more than enough product to meet current demand, and FDA is committed to working closely with Abbott so that Sturgis can restart producing safe and quality formula products quickly.
Energy prices are up worldwide. This is the Federal Reserve raised interest rates by 0.75% Wednesday. AAA says gas prices are at $5 a gallon nationwide. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis criticizing President Biden for attacking gas companies.
He puts really negative policies to try to kneecap American energy production. And of course, that's been a huge driver as to why we now have gas higher than we have ever seen it before in my lifetime in this country.
The average for a gallon of regular unleaded in the St. Louis area is $4.94. The Federal Reserve points to the Russian invasion of Ukraine and COVID-related lockdowns as high factors for inflation. The third House Select Committee hearing into the January 6th Capitol riot and 2020 election will start this afternoon. The committee released a video of Republican Congressman Barry Loudermilk leading a group on a tour of the Capitol the day before the attack. Someone on the tour was photographing a staircase. Loudermilk denied that he gave a tour of the Capitol itself. CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian on what the House Select Committee found.
This is the committee trying to get more information from the congressman. I mean, just last month, they sent a request to him asking for more information about these tours, and they say that he didn't respond. So they just put out the video, hoping that that would compel him to speak before the panel. Now, when I talked to the congressman, he said, well, look, I didn't get their request, and my name's plastered all over TV. I'm getting death threats because of this. And at the end of the day, in his view, there is nothing there.
The next scheduled public hearing will be on Tuesday, June 21st. The family of a Mizzou fraternity pledge left severely disabled following a hazing ritual continues to push for criminal charges. 19-year-old Danny Santoli is blind and in a wheelchair following the incident last October. His father, Tom, says the surveillance video taken in a basement shows his son being given vodka by a fraternity member.
Danny wanted to stop. He said, no more, I'm good. And then the pledge dad took the bottle, looked at it, realized it wasn't empty, and gave it back. So that happened 3 times.
Tom Santoli says his son was later forced to drink from a beer bong. Danny ultimately went into cardiac arrest. Settlements have been reached in a civil lawsuit against the Phi Gamma Delta fraternity and local members. Earlier this week, friends of the family started an online petition demanding that the Boone County, Missouri prosecutor file hazing charges against fraternity members. From the First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk, stocks opened sharply lower this morning. Michael Farr is a market strategist and says investors have become very pessimistic.
The real trick for the Federal Reserve is, can they somehow tame inflation without killing the economic expansion? And now people are beginning to think maybe not, maybe a recession is in our future.
The Dow from Stifel is down just under 2.5%, down 735 points to 29,933. There's a crash on 370 East at 70, the left shoulder. Stall on 70 East past Bryan Road on the right shoulder. 370 East past Truman Boulevard on the right shoulder. A crash 170 South to 6440 West. And a crash 141 South past Old Woods Mill. The 3 right lanes are closed.
KMOX AccuWeather excessive heat warnings through 8 p.m. The AccuWeather real feel highs of 105 or better this afternoon as the thermometer gets up to near the record of 100. Some strong to severe thunderstorms later tonight, tomorrow morning, maybe another thunderstorm in the afternoon tomorrow, high 91. It looks like we stay in the upper 80s Saturday and then start another heat wave and build even dangerous heat in again for Monday and Tuesday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by STL Windows Direct. It's sunny and 91 in Florissant, 90 in St. Peters, and 91 degrees downtown at the Arch, where it feels like 100. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Not all windows are created equal. See things more clearly with an STL Windows Direct window. Compare the difference at STLWindowsDirect.com. STLWindowsDirect.com.
STL Windows Direct. The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
It's 11:05 on the show on KMOX. Chris Raji and Kevin Wheeler with you here. Amy off today, tomorrow, probably Monday as well. She's running a marathon up in Minnesota. If you want to be a part of the show, anything you hear, you're more than welcome to participate. All you need to do is really just head to one spot, at the show KMOX on Twitter. That'll get you all of the information you need because everything is there in our pinned tweet. So you can listen on 98.7 FM. And if you haven't tried that, you need to. It covers a lot more area than you think. We say it's kind of like down the 40 corridor, but again, I carry it out to well out west in St. Charles County on a daily basis and don't have any problems with it. Obviously, 11:20 a.m. is there for you. You can download the Odyssey app and listen that way. We're broadcasting live, Facebook.com/KMOX1120 and on YouTube.com/KMOX1120. You can text us, 314-436-7900, and you can leave a voicemail on any topic. This one might have some reaction coming in at 314-944-1120. And again, all of that at the show KMOX on Twitter. So, Ranj, it sounds like we're still, and I don't want to say fighting because that's not really the tone of the story, but certainly still debating, negotiating how we're going to be splitting up the Kroenke money between the city, the county, and the Dome Committee, or not the Dome Committee, but the RSA.
Yeah. The Regional Convention and Sports Complex Authority, to be exact. And what they're talking about right now is because they believe we are still several months away from them actually figuring out how they're going to divvy up this money, where it's going to go. They're talking about putting it into a higher interest rate returns, or a higher rate of return place where they can get their money and like make some money while it's just sitting there.
I mean, that seems pretty common sense, right?
I mean, there's almost $800 million that's just sitting there, and you might as well make money. And I believe the number they're talking about is it's like 12 million, or they're missing out on 15 million a year with the rates
with
the way
where they are
now.
now, but they could put it in a more high interest.
Right. And right
spot.
now they're getting it. So they're missing out on about $13 million because it's 2 million total that they're getting at the moment, but they can be making about 13 million more. At any rate, that's where they are. But I think the bottom line
and
here
I mean,
is,
that's a no-brainer, right? I mean, they're not actually
no, they're not fighting. There's no fight.
negotiating over that. I think it's like pretty straightforward. Let's do this and make more money.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's arguing they should not do that. Maybe they're talking about where it's going to go. But as far as what the ultimate outcome is from this and how the money is spent, I actually don't mind if it takes a long time. I mean, there might be some services, there might be some city things that probably need to be funded or could really use this money quickly. Like the RSA is talking about that. They're going to run out of funding
for the dome
by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And yes, for them, you want to get this done quickly, but I would rather all parties involved make good educated decisions, plural, about how this is going to be spent, how it's going to be allocated, instead of rushing to, all right, let's just throw it in all of these different places and go about our business. I would rather them be prudent about every decision they make with this money.
What I'm curious about is where the priority will lie. In other words, how do you split it? I mean, I know this is what they're talking about, but just looking at it as an outsider, I mean, does a 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 split does that make sense? Does one of those entities deserve less or more?
Yeah.
I think there's a case to be made that if the dome doesn't get some improvements in the not too distant future, if you're not going to do something with it that's going to bring it closer to what you have in Kansas City, to what you have in Indianapolis, to what you have in Chicago, to what you have in other areas in the region, you are going to start losing out on events. And at some point, if you want to draw, for example, more NCAA events, you want to draw more concerts, you want to draw things beside the auto show, obviously you want conventions and all of these things. At some point, those facilities need to be fully modern because your competition is that.
Right.
Your competition is Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, right down the road. There are a lot of places. I mean, McCormick Place in Chicago is obviously popular. It's big, and they continuously keep that up. I think that I don't know what that means as far as how much of this money goes to the dome, but certainly the dome can be a revenue generator going forward.
Well, I know they want to invest in it. They want to update it, make it as state of the art as they possibly can. And I know there's a lot of pushback against that, because the feeling from a lot of people in the area is, okay, we're going to spend all this money to make these improvements to this dome, and then no one's going to come here anyway. Like, what events are we going to get? I don't think you can think that way.
Because if you don't do it, they definitely aren't coming.
Right. Just we had the same discussion a few years ago with Enterprise Center.
Right.
When they were trying to update Enterprise Center, which was in full use and events constantly, but there were a lot of things like college events. I believe the gymnastics event was one of them. That was maybe not going to come back if they didn't update the building. Like, it was imperative. They had to update the building. And it's not just the dome. It's not just the America Center. It's the city itself. I mean, there has to be an infrastructure to allow people to come in and have events and have enough hotel space, which I think we do. I mean, there's plenty of places that people can stay. So it's a collective effort to make this area attractive to people and to events and organizations from the outside.
Should there be kind of a singular vision in mind, even if we're splitting this up between three entities in whatever percentages we want to, should it all be done with the same vision? In other words, trying to grow events, trying to give people a reason to come here from outside of Cardinals games, outside of Blues games. That's the idea of the aquarium, right? I mean, there are a lot of the MLS team and the new stadium are going to do some of that too. Concerts do come in. But if you're looking for growth, it's got to be something beyond what you already do. Is that the goal? Or do we use it more as a patchwork? Say, hey, here are weaknesses. Let's fix these, whether it's, improving roads downtown and getting rid of all the potholes, whether it's increasing law enforcement present in areas that aren't as safe right now, that are in the problem areas. There are a lot of things that need work. And again, you got a little chicken or the egg, right? Like, do you have to do those things first?
Right.
Or do you do the other things first with the money to make it more attractive so that generates more money that can then be backfed into those other things? I tend to think fixing the problems needs to be first, because if you still have those problems, that may be an impediment itself to events coming, right? If downtown is not considered safe.
Right.
I mean, even if you have the beautiful,
isn't.
right? What I'm saying is, even if you fix up the dome and it's beautiful and perfect and modern, if it's still not safe in that area down Wash Ave and everywhere else, you may still not get those events, even with the more modern building.
Right. It all has to be done. I guess what the question is, do we have the capacity to address all of those things at once?
Not with just this amount of money.
No, not with this money.
You're going to need a lot more.
But as a region, do we start to tackle them all at once? I think as best to our ability, we should, because it's clearly going to be a many-front war here, or campaign is probably a better word, because we have to make the dome attractive. We have to make the city attractive, because, I mean, people from outside the region, Kevin, know a lot of them. So do I. And the opinion of this city outside of here is not very good.
But I don't know that. I don't know a lot of that is, at least from the feedback I get, I don't know that a lot that has a lot to do with this, with safety. It's a lot more with, okay, what am I going there to do?
Yeah, it's both.
I mean, there are aquariums in a lot of cities. I'm not a Cardinals fan if I'm from some other place. So is that a big enough draw? I don't care about hockey. I mean, it's not what are the draws to people from outside that aren't the things that are here?
Right. No, it's both.
Yeah.
I think it starts with that, and the famous Chris Bryant saying that city's so boring.
Exactly. I get more of that from people than I get.
I do too.
Who I wouldn't come there because it's not safe. Most big cities do have issues with safety in some places.
Right. But I think the perception is that it's worse here than just about anywhere else in the country. And you come from a city that had that reputation for a long time as well.
It's not like Chicago's reputation is great right now. All I hear about from people that live in the city that I know are like, there's a shooting right down my block almost every night.
Which is interesting because in terms of violent crime rate, it's not like even in the top 20 in the country.
No, but obviously.
And I think that's the important number. The important number is per capita, how much violent crime is happening. In a city like that, the perception is that it's just an absolute war zone, and it's not. There's stuff that's going on, no question about that, but it's not as bad as the rate here is far worse. I think the rate in Detroit is still far worse. I mean, there are a lot of other cities. That doesn't make it okay.
Well,
it just means there are other really bad
people
places.
Don't tend to look those things up.
No, they don't.
You're seeing the news, right? And what's the news covering in every major city? What are they covering? They're covering crime usually first.
Right. Then that's the thing, is that people don't just look at St. Louis from the out. Not everybody does. We should make that clear. There are people who are not from here who find it to be a charming city, who like to come here. Maybe they live in a smaller town and this is a big city to them, so they like to make their way here. But the perception generally from the outside is there's not much to do, and there's way too much crime. And all of those things have to be tackled at once.
Chris Ranji, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Amy out until next week. She's up running a marathon. This is the show on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan, proud customer of Banner Construction. One of the safest investments you can make today is an exterior renovation to your home. And Banner Homes have timeless beauty, striking curb appeal, and ultra-low maintenance. If you take pride in your home, trust it to the team of experts at Banner Construction. Since 1993, my friends at Banner Construction have engineered their projects to go beyond the basic low-cost solutions. That's more than 25 years of experience. And now is the perfect time to call the experts at Banner Construction. They're ready to help. If you're looking for windows, you should know that Banner is a James Hardie Elite Preferred Contractor. James Hardie Fiber Cement Siding has the rich look and feel of wood. And Banner's also a Platinum Certified Pella Window Contractor. Those Pella windows are beautiful, and they come with a 30-year warranty. 314-569-1050 or visit their website, bannerconstruction.com, and make sure you have a banner day.
Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Find the car you want, new or used. Get it at Clement, get pre-approved. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. ClementAutoGroup.com.
Hey, St. Louis, I want to have an honest conversation about real estate. Never in modern history have we seen a market like this before, and most homes are receiving multiple offers, often well over asking. You can trust that when you hire us, we will market your home correctly and professionally while saving you money. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty, and I've been a broker for over 18 years and have helped thousands of my clients navigate every type of market, including this one. Why pay more than four? 314-441-4444.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Why are some people afraid to enjoy their retirement? And why are some people so worried about spending money during their golden years? Maybe it's because they're afraid of running out of money. Maybe they're afraid of depleting their nest egg, either through spending too much or through investment strategies that could result in losses. Hi, my name is Ken Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. Do you have a fear of depleting your savings and running out of money too soon? Let me help put your mind at ease. I can help you create an optimal retirement income distribution strategy that helps to maximize income from your retirement savings and eliminate your fear of running out of money. Call 314-328-4400 today and schedule your complimentary retirement roadmap review with our team. That's 314-328-4400. Again, 314-328-4400.
Heisey Advisory Group provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered through AE Wealth Management, LLC. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
At Busey Bank, we're proud to connect communities through financial outreach and economic opportunity. Building a stronger, more vibrant community, Busey offers tools and resources to individuals, families, and business owners to achieve financial success. Building strong financial futures, one family, one street, one city at a time. Busey Bank, member FDIC.
Guys, I want to talk to you man to man about erectile dysfunction and PE. The physicians at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer custom blended medications that have men lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history. See results on your first visit, guaranteed, or your exam is free. Men, if Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, call Paramount Men's Medical Center now. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Work or play, KMOX is right there with you. We go where you go.
Thursday on the show here on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Amy is out for the next couple of days, headed up north to run a marathon this weekend. So good luck to Amy, and thank God it's not me. I'm sure you feel the same way.
Marathon? Talk to me.
I mean, let's say if I'm going to a marathon, it's if it's the gas station.
Talk to me when it's a triathlon, Amy.
Oh,
not impressed.
The triathlon.
With your running 45 miles a day.
For you, the triathlon is... what, a shower, a walk to the couch, and then laying on the couch pretending to swim?
Yeah, well, a shower in the dark now.
I'm now in the dark. You're doing that whole now because of Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew from the DGS told us all about it.
Did you do that?
No.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it, though. I got a weekend coming up.
There you go. Nothing else to do.
Right. I would love to try it. But I think you have to have the shower chair in order to do the dark shower. The lights off shower.
Yeah.
You can't just be standing in the shower with the water coming down and it's slippery and one wrong step, one wrong turn. You can't see anything. You don't know how to brace yourself. Got to have a chair.
Yeah. So you posted a story about that we want to hit. We only hit on it here for a couple of minutes, but you posted a story about the Patriot Front on our Google document, not like on the newspaper or anything. But you were the one that kind of suggested this story, and that whole thing is just unbelievable to me. The group, of course, we're talking about the people that were arrested in Idaho for conspiracy to riot. They were caught with all kinds of gear, weapons, shields. They had, I guess, found some printouts that they had done, some brochures to say, basically saying, hey, let's go. I almost said a bad word. Let's go mess some stuff up in Coeur d'Alene. Coeur d'Alene is how you say it, I think. But
Coeur d'Alene.
Coeur d'Alene, maybe that's it. All right.
It's a place in Idaho.
You posted a story to me that is just hilarious out of that, because that story's not funny. That's nasty, awful people. I mean, that organization has been called a white nationalist organization by the Southern Poverty Law Center. That's people with bad intentions. But you actually found the humor in one of those stories.
Oh, there is something funny about this. So one of the 31 men who were arrested, and this was a pride parade that this was taking place, and all these guys were arrested because they were going to go there to disrupt it and who knows what else. Jared Boyce is one of the 31 people who was there to, quote, antagonize and cause disorder. That is according to the court filing. Well, his mom has found out about him being arrested. And here's what she said. When he came back from this weekend in Idaho, and by the way, he lives in her basement. So this person literally lives in his mother's basement. When he came back from this weekend in Idaho, I was hoping after spending some time in jail that maybe this will be a wake-up call for him, like to question, what is this group that I've been involved with? Where's this really getting me? But when she saw him, she said her son stood by the group and its plans. And he said, we're there to prevent them from grooming children. We're doing what we thought was right. So she said, you can't live in my house and be doing this kind of stuff and putting this kind of hate out into the world and putting yourself in danger. You need to move out. So this dude no longer has a place to stay. Well, I'm assuming that he's found somewhere to go. But his mom, because he's a member of Patriot Front.
Good for mom, by the way.
Good for mom. Yeah, because I think most mothers wouldn't.
I don't know. It's tough, man. I mean, I'm a
I-
parent. My kid's not going to be involved in anything stupid like that. But I can understand that your protective instinct is there. You don't
Right.
want to throw your kid out onto the street. And I'm also going to guess that this probably isn't the first issue with him that she's had to deal with, because I seriously don't think it would be like the first time your kid really screws up, you're like, move out. There had to be other things at some point.
I mean, there's
And
got
given
to
what
be.
he's involved with, it's probably not a crazy assumption to think he's been in trouble before.
Well, I'm sure that he has.
And even if I'm wrong about that, I'm not going to apologize because
And-
you're in a hate group.
Look, I am not going to criticize any 27-year-old who's staying in mom's
None.
basement.
No.
Because it's expensive to live.
I've done it, man.
And I
When
came
we were
back
young
home after
adults, we
college.
stayed with my in-laws. I mean, it is what it is, man. You do what the smart thing is at the moment.
I came back home from college. I lived at home for about a year and a half
Yep.
with my mom and dad before I moved north. And a lot of people have to do that. And a lot of people do it until they're in their early 30s. It is more expensive to live. But it's also kind of funny because of the cliche, the thing that we always use.
Oh, I read
what
the
are you-
online joke. What are you,
Yeah,
your
you're-
mom's
you're
basement?
your mom's basement.
Yeah.
You're a loser in your mom's basement.
And usually the implication is also that you're a kid.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's you're some 14-year-old posing as an adult online, which, obviously
don't do that.
No, don't. No.
But this guy literally in his mom's basement. And she told him to GTFO.
I got to tell you that just the whole thing about how these groups just believe nonsense. Like, I mean, there's look, these things have been around forever, right? These hate groups have been around forever. You go back, I don't even know how many centuries you have to go back, but there are always beliefs about the other. The other has changed at times over the years. Sometimes it's been based on race. Sometimes it's been based on religion. Sometimes it's based on geography and where you're from. Now it's, your sexual orientation is. It's amazing that we're as advanced as we are. We have all of this great access to real information, And we are still, as a species, so apt to just believe the craziest, dumbest things.
I don't know how it happens, and it does happen routinely, but and sometimes people who get caught up in this stuff, people who get into cults, it's not all idiots. It's not all uneducated dopes. There are a lot of very educated people who were, for example, in Heaven's Gate. It happens.
Your exclusive home for Cardinals baseball.
The 1-2 pitch.
You hear the games here.
Pujols hits a drive.
But the
Left
conversation
field.
never ends. Sunday mornings at 10:15. Wednesday mornings at 9:50.
We welcome in live the manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, Oliver Marmol.
Sunday mornings at 11:45. Monday mornings at 9:50. It's 5 minutes with number 5.
It was 1999 that I got drafted.
Plus John Rudy, Ricky Horton, and Mike Claiborne. Keep you covered with up-to-the-minute Cardinal news.
Oliver Marmol, a lot of baseball.
Cardinals baseball. It's more than a game.
The Redbird winner.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED, but what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now. 314-530-7777.
If you're planning to sell your St. Louis area home, now may be the best time to capture the highest sale value before the market changes. This is Debbie Monterey, and according to industry experts, the real estate market has shifted. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty agrees, and she has options to help every type of home seller because she understands that every situation is different. If you need to sell your home quickly, but you're worried about finding your next home, Gloria has your answers and solutions. Gloria has an instant cash offer program that gives you above market cash offers, no showings, no hassles, and you pick the closing date even up to a year, giving you the cash and time needed to find your next home. Call Gloria Liu and ask her about the instant cash offer guarantees or other options that will help you sell fast and for the most money. Call 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888. It's Gloria Liu of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria has the buyers.com.
At 11:30, it's sunny and 91 degrees. It feels like 102 downtown at the Arch. An excessive heat warning remains in effect through 8 p.m. this evening. Real field temperatures are expected to reach 105 or better, so use caution with outdoor activities. Applications for jobless aid fell by 3,000 to 229,000 for the week ending June 11th, the Labor Department reports. First-time applications generally represent the number of layoffs. Germany's vice chancellor is stepping up an appeal for the country's residents to save energy after Russia's Gazprom announced significant cuts in natural gas deliveries through a key pipeline. We've got a crash on 170 South at Brentwood Boulevard in the center lane. A crash on 6440 East at Big Bend. Stall 270 West past Bell Fountain. Crash 370 East at I-70 on the left shoulder. And the weather is sponsored by Metro Transit. Dangerously hot and humid this afternoon with some sun and a high approaching the record of 100 set in 1952. Overnight, warm and sticky with some strong to severe thunderstorms later tonight into tomorrow morning. The low 76. Tomorrow's high 91. Rising gas prices are straining budgets across St. Louis, and Metro Transit's here to help. When you commute with Metro, all you need to do is park, ride, relax, and save money while they handle the driving. There are 23 Metro Park Ride lots and garages and 6 free Metro bus lots. Beat rising gas prices and start your commute at metrostlouis.org today. 91 feels like 102 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com. Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman again with ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, 946-9999. We're locally and family owned, and we bought over 50 properties this year. A lot of times people are looking to sell their property as is, and maybe they've talked to another investor and didn't get a good offer, and we came in and made a better offer. Because of our economies of scale, we can usually pay more than all other investors in town and provide probably one of the strongest offers you'll get. Reach out to us today, KLAMEN Group.com or 314-946-9999.
Indoor plumbing, been around for decades, right? Well, when you have a problem with it, you need a plumber, and Beast Plumbing wants to be that plumber. I'll give you their contact information at the end of this, so get your phone ready so you can punch in their information. But when it comes to the flavor of the water that comes out of your tap, they have ways that they can improve that with different water filter systems, reverse osmosis systems. They are water treatment specialists at Beast Plumbing, and they can take care of that for you. Something simple like not enough water pressure coming out of your shower head, Beast Plumbing can take care of that too. And they've got another thing that's going on for the month of June. They've got $40 off all hose bibs, and a hose bib is a small faucet attachment on the outer wall of your home that gets you water to your backyard or to your driveway to wash your vehicle. No problem. Beast Plumbing's got that deal going. Get a hold of them as soon as you can by calling 314-698-1154 or beastplumbing.com. That's BEIS plumbing.com. Tell them Bo Matthews sent you to Beast Plumbing.
Find out what's happening with your Redbirds from the manager himself, Oliver Marmol. Sundays at 10:15 on Sports Open Line and Wednesday mornings at 9:50. The Ollie Marmol Show.
I'm excited for not only the club but for the fans. This is a special year for sure.
On KMOX.
I just wanted to mention a quick bit of news, and then we'll move on to our topic for this segment. Chris Ranji, Kevin Wheeler with you here on the show. Amy's out today, tomorrow, probably Monday as well. Running a marathon up in Duluth, Minnesota, so good luck, Amy. We both said that before she left. Good luck. Races are hard, and obviously it's a good challenge. I know she's up to it. She's more worried about it, I think, Ranj, than she probably needs to be. I think she's prepared. She's been running and preparing and doing all that stuff for a long time.
Kind of her personality, though.
That's true. That's true. I'd probably be just as nervous if I was doing that. So, and I would never do that, nor would you, because we're not.
Right.
We're not nuts.
Yeah, but you have to be a crazy person
to run a marathon. Yeah,
it's 26 miles. Kevin.
It's a long ways. Yeah. Plus, I get bored, man. How do you do one thing for that long?
How many miles is it from downtown to St. Charles?
Downtown St. Charles? It's probably not too far off of that. It's probably in the 20 to 25 mile range.
I don't even want to drive that. Think I want to run that?
No.
Pass.
No thanks. All right. So quick bit of news, and then to our story. And they're somewhat linked,
and I
but
love
not really.
St. Charles.
Yeah.
Let me make that clear. I love St. Charles. I just don't feel like driving far.
Yeah, Ranji's lazy.
Yeah,
That's what he's telling you.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. Just news today, and we'll maybe see if there's anything from this when today's congressional hearing starts up in a little bit. But we just got news a little while ago that now the January 6th committee is looking to talk to Ginny Thomas. They have gotten a hold of a bunch of emails of Ginny Thomas corresponding with White House lawyer John Eastman. Now, you may remember the clip that we played earlier from another White House lawyer. That was Eric Hirschman, who was telling John Eastman, you better get yourself a good effing criminal lawyer.
Yeah. His exact words.
That's his exact, again, fellow White House lawyer speaking to another White House lawyer telling him that. And the committee has these emails between the wife of a Supreme Court justice and White House lawyer John Eastman. And I do think that complicates things a bit. I mean, this is not a typical story. I mean, this is, again, it's the wife of a Supreme Court justice, which adds a lot of levels of I think, difficulty to bringing her in. What is it? Not just whether you should or shouldn't, but like what should be expected of somebody who's married to someone on the Supreme Court? Should politics be out there in the open? Should it not? I mean, they're just questions without answers, in my opinion.
Is there a conflict there? I think you could make the argument.
I think that's the question. And
right.
Yeah.
You can make the argument that they are separate people. Yep. They don't have the same ideologies necessarily.
Some married couples do not.
Some married couples are very far apart on stuff like this. And I understand, from 10,000 feet looking at it that way and going, well, maybe they don't see eye to eye on this. We don't know.
And maybe
we don't really
there
know
are people that see eye to eye 90% of the time, but not on a couple of key things. So that's why I think it is a difficult thing to ascertain, but it is about what you know and what evidence you have, and what that ends up showing. So we'll see.
So what Benny Thompson said to reporters today was, quote, "At this point, the information we have come upon, it's time for us to invite her to come and talk. At some point, maybe during the hearings, it'll come up." And said they're still in the discovery phase. So this will add another element if they decide to talk to her.
All right, let's changing gears. And this is loosely related, but we were talking about this earlier. I saw a story, and I put it on our list, and we were kicking it around in the office before the show, Raj. But what would you say if I asked you how you would rate United States moral values? How would you rate the moral values in the United States? And your choices are poor, fair, excellent, good, or excellent. You've got really 4 ways you can go.
I think it's fair.
Probably fair?
Yeah, I think we're about fair.
That's where the majority is, regardless of demographic.
Right.
But if you look at it, well, actually, not really where the majority is. I'm sorry. That it's
the
interesting.
plurality.
No, it's not even that.
Oh.
It's actually the majority of people think that the overall moral state in the U.S. is poor. 50% of Americans say that they think that the overall state of moral values in the U.S. is poor. Half the country, which is in this particular group study, the highest it's ever been. Now, it's been close to this in the past. You go back to 2018, 2019, it was in a similar place. But according to this poll, half of Americans think that the overall moral values in the U.S. are poor, and then 37% say fair. So 87% of Americans think that it's either fair or poor, and only 13% think it's good or better.
So broken down by demographic and political affiliation really is probably the most important thing to say. That 72% of Republicans think it's poor, that our values as a country are poor. 36% of Democrats say the same thing. And most people, I think, for the Democrats, a 48% plurality think that it's fair.
Fair, right.
That's how I see it, too. I think it's fine. I think there are some people with questionable morals. I guess for me, the definition of what morality is, and there are different questions here, like what do you consider to be morality? Do you consider it to be how you treat other people? Do you consider it to be a lack of faith or religion?
Right. I mean, that's the thing, is there are differing definitions of what the morality is or should be.
The top moral problem in terms of Democrats is lack of consideration, and that is at 23%. 13% of Republicans think lack of consideration is the problem. It's 11% of Republicans who believe lack of faith or religion as the most important moral problem. I guess my argument with that is, and I don't consider myself to be a religious person, I don't really think religion and morality are necessarily the same thing. I think that you can find real moral philosophies from religion, but just because you are religious, that does not make you a moral person necessarily. And just because you are not religious, that doesn't make you immoral either. I don't think that's a fair assignment to people just because they do or do not have religion.
Yeah, I think you can show what your values are based on how you treat people.
And that's what I think the most important thing is.
You evaluate people's actions, not what they say their beliefs are, right? Because if your actions match your beliefs, then we know, right? But if your actions and your beliefs are diametrically opposed to one another, you say you believe something, but you act in a different way,
right?
Well, then you're not what you think you are. What I find fascinating about all of this is I think everybody that's involved in all this, everybody's opinion on how bad it is, because everybody agrees that it's not only not good, but that it's getting worse. Almost 70% of Democrats say that it's getting worse. 93% of Republicans say that it's getting worse. 75% of independents say that it's getting worse. And I think they're all full of crap. We have been doing this and playing this game for thousands of years. The world's going to hell in a handbasket. And so apparently we've been in constant decline for thousands of years, because you can go back and find quotes from Greek philosophers about how the society was in decline and kids have no respect for their elders and people don't respect traditions or religions. And the religions back then were different than the religions now. Why do we always think things are getting worse?
Because it's all you've experienced for yourself. And before,
when was the time that it was perfect? When is the time that we had it right?
Before World War II, there you can find people who were saying that young group of men before it, and women,
what became the greatest generation,
who served before that they had problems with morality.
They
and
partied too much.
They were ruining the country, and the youth don't have any respect for elders. Like, we were talking about what ended up being considered the greatest generation before it was the greatest generation, that they were ruining the country.
So I want to talk about this at some point with our listeners. So text us 314-436-7900, 944-1120, 314-944-1120 is our voicemail line. You call it, you get a short message, you leave the message of whatever length you'd like, get to your point pretty quickly. We'll get it on the air, because to me, this is the dumbest game we as humans play. We always think everything's getting worse. Ron, I was arguing about this with buddies in a different way. A couple of my buddies were mad because, well, the NBA finals aren't as good. Basketball is not as good as it used to be. It was better in the 80s and 90s. I'm like, you know why it was better in the 80s and 90s? Because you were 25 and not 50. Because everything seems better when you're younger, and everything seems worse the older you get, because it's not what you remember it being. So what I want to know is, when were we as a species at the baseline where we said this is good and how it should be? Because to me, we've never been that, because there's always been slavery. There's always been racism. There have always been war. There has always been famine. There has always been a distinct difference between classes of people, whether that was nobility in Europe and the peasants, or it's rich people now compared to everybody else. We always think it's getting worse. And the problem is, we just never recognized how bad it was before. And it might have been good for some people. A lot of people like, oh, the 50s are pretty good. Yeah, if you're a white guy or a white man, if you're a lady, you didn't have any rights. You weren't supposed to work. You weren't supposed to be out of the home. I mean, if you were a person of color, good luck to you. I mean, like, when was this golden era when we had it right?
I love a Charlie Brown Christmas. It's one of my favorite things. It's one of my favorite things ever. Because when I was growing up, it was on every Christmas, and we watched it as a family, and I think it's wonderful. When I go back and watch it now, and I watch it every year, it sucks so bad. It's just not good. But I used to think it was wonderful. And I still think it's wonderful because of nostalgia. Nostalgia is very, very powerful. And things that you thought were awesome in a time in your life, and maybe that's what it was. It's just a time in my life that you had nothing to worry about. Everything was wonderful. And so anything that you consumed during that time was also wonderful. But I will tell you this, objectively speaking, Charlie Brown Christmas sucks. It's not good. But I love it.
Yeah.
Because of nostalgia.
Good. But see, you're being a rational human about that. And I'm just asking all of us, like, when we pose these questions, when we think about the bigger issues, like, where's the country heading? Look, man, the world sucks. There are a lot of bad people and bad things. And that has been that way since human beings came into existence.
Yeah.
So
and it's always going to be that way.
So, I mean, has it been a constant decline for tens of thousands of years? Is it, I mean, like, we always think it's worse and it's going to get worse, but what you're saying is exactly right. It's just our perception that changes.
Right.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying it's always been bad. It's just been bad for different people at different times. If you were, say, an Irishman during the famine in Ireland, that was pretty horrible. And when you moved here, you were not welcomed here.
No, that was pretty bad too.
Americans hated Irish immigrants initially, hated
and
Italian immigrants initially.
Yes.
And at those times, you were not in favor. So again, what time did we have it right?
We've never had it right.
314-436-7900. It's called a rhetorical question, Ranj.
Well, I'm answering it for you.
It's also
the answer is we've never had it right. But you can disagree.
314-944-1120 for your voicemails. We got that and trending next here on the show on KMOX.
I hear all the time for years now, sign up and be a preferred customer. My best recommendation I give my customers is never, ever sign an agreement that states if you purchase from me, in order for you to maintain your warranty, you must pay me hundreds of dollars a year. My philosophy is to shoot everybody straight. My customers come first. When that phone rings, you do not have to pay to be priority. You are priority number one. When that phone rings, you're preferred. I would prefer you call me than the preferred company that you're paying hundreds of dollars to every year. So try them, then call me, Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Save the number. There are unscrupulous people that are pretending to be me. It's one easy number, 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, Bart with a B, Inman with an I, 314-293-2600, or the same spelling, Bart Inman, a B and an I.com.
The following is a commercial announcement.
Your local radio stations are here for you. No subscriptions or monthly fees necessary. We're here to give you the news, weather, and traffic you need, and the music you love. But if the foreign-owned record labels get their way, it could stop the music. They want Congress to force radio stations to pay them more money, simply to play their music. Don't let radio go silent. Text LOCAL to 52886 and tell Congress to protect local radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
For a smarter conversation about money, Everyday Wealth with Soledad O'Brien and Gene Chatsky, presented by Edelman Financial Engines. Your hosts and their guests will explore how our financial decisions shape our everyday lives. For airtimes, visit everydaywealth.com.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great, because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
Why should I buy from you? Always ask. Hi, I'm Chuck Easter with Easter Fence Deck and Renovations. When working with Easter, you know it's not just about making a buck. Our commitment is to do what's right. We are a third-generation family business. A lot of pride goes into every fence, deck, and sunroom. Our name is on it, and we guarantee it. Even if it was the first job Dad did in 1957, if we didn't do it right or didn't do what we said, we'll fix it for free. Call 314-892-8500 or easterfence.com.
If you've been waiting for the perfect time to get your Missouri medical marijuana card, today is the day at 420id.com. Dispensaries are open and inventory is in. 420id.com is a BBB accredited business with over 16,000 happy Missouri patients. If we can't approve you, you pay nothing at 420id.com. Open late every day until 9 p.m. Sign up for your Missouri medical marijuana card now at 420id.com and use promo code RADIO for $30 off today.
Race fan, this is Frank Bomarito. The Bomarito Automotive Group 500 Race to the Savings Sales event is back, and you're the winner at every Bomarito location. When you purchase or lease any new or pre-owned vehicle, make your best deal and receive 2 tickets to the Bomarito Automotive Group 500. That's the Race to the Savings Sales event going on now. Details at Bomarito.com. See you at the track.
We're all on this planet together. So join Odyssey and find your one thing. Cut up 6-pack rings and reduce your use of plastic to help keep it out of our waterways and oceans. Join Odyssey, and together each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Hi, this is Ken Newbold of Newbold BMW. The new all-electric BMWs are here, and it proves that you don't have to be ugly to be electric. Come and drive one of these, and you'll kick your Tesla to the curb. That's Newbold BMW in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldbmw.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Transform your home into the most beautiful home in your neighborhood with Banner Construction, St. Louis's premier James Hardy and Pella window expert. Add curb appeal and value to your home by calling Banner Construction 314-569-1050.
The annual Swing for Kids golf tournament at Lake Forest Country Club is Monday, August 8th. Find out more information or register your team at communitylivingmo.org/golf.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Amy, Chris, and Kevin.
The greatest radio talk show host ever.
Now, more of the show.
What is it? What's happened?
What's going on? What do you know?
What just happened?
What happened?
I need to know.
Trending now on the show.
All right, time for trending. We got a few things that are going on in the world. Ron, do you want to get a couple quick texts in on our question, on the question I threw out there?
I really like text messages.
Yeah, 314-436-7900. One of them was the best times. This is from the 573. The best times were about 245 to 66 million years ago because there were more dinosaurs.
I agree with that. I love.
Do you think dinosaurs thought the world was constantly in decline?
I don't think they thought much.
I bet not. Like food.
That's
what they thought. Food.
Dinosaurs were as smart as Amy thinks you and I are right now.
Oh yeah, they were definitely
walnut-sized brains.
Yeah.
That's what she thinks of us, and
Yeah.
that's what dinosaurs actually.
I mean,
had.
let's be honest. Their primary drive was food. I'm not gonna lie, it's not far off.
Yeah, I mean, food's great. I wish we could have coexisted just to see what it's like to be in the food chain. Like we would have been in the food chain.
Yeah.
If there are
back then.
Well, yeah. Well, now maybe.
I mean, we didn't.
Well, I guess we
exist
did
back
develop
then, right?
technology. Well,
Yeah.
I'm saying if we coexisted is what I said. So if we did,
we would not have survived if we coexisted.
I think we would have.
You think?
Well, yeah, we would have adapted. You know, we would have been around.
Yeah.
If the asteroid
going to
had
get them
hit,
with sticks and rocks?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. Like now we could.
It'd have been really tough to build that factory, and here comes a T-Rex out of nowhere. Like, hey, I'm in the middle of building this factory.
Yeah.
That would have been very dangerous.
What's trending in your world, Ron? Your
what's
Twitter, your Twitterverse.
All right. This was trending yesterday, but I'm going to share it with you today. What's trending is Matt Carpenter's mustache.
Really?
Yeah, it is. A story from MLB.com discussing the power of Matt Carpenter's mustache. And if you don't know, Matt Carpenter, former Cardinal, old friend. It is an old friend alert for us. He is doing very well in his short time with the New York Yankees. And as you know, to be a member of the New York Yankees, you are not allowed to have a beard.
Right. They do not allow beards or long hair.
Carpenter had that terrific beard. He had to shave it, but he was allowed to keep the mustache.
Right.
He does have a mustache. And a story in MLB.com by Matt Monaghan explores whether or not the mustache is helping him be as good as he is. Through 11 games, 28 at-bats, he's got 6 home runs and 13 runs batted in. There's no way to know, Kevin. No way to know for sure if the mustache is why Matt Carpenter, old friend, is doing so well in those games. But I think you can't discount it. Maybe it is the mustache.
I think we can discount it.
Dave, is it the mustache?
I think so.
See, can't discount it. Two
Although
against one.
usually when you shave the beard off, the
I now
it
know
usually declines, but apparently
Not
it's,
for him.
I
yeah, he's
now
the
know
reverse.
how Amy feels.
How's that?
Talking to us. I feel talking to you right now. That's how
Oh.
Amy feels talking to us every day.
Well, here's what I know. It's 2 against 1, so we must be right.
if you yelled a little bit louder, you would totally be right.
It's 2 against 1.
Anything else in your world trending?
Not really. That's pretty much it. It's all other bad stuff.
It is. Everything's bad.
Everything that we have is just
Ron,
bad
did you
and
hear the
gross
world's
and-
going to hell?
Yeah, I know. It's the worst time ever. It's the worst time in history.
I saw one trend that made me laugh. Hashtag useless superheroes is trending.
Oh, I love this. I love this idea.
Useless superheroes. So, like one, I'm just going to go through a few that are popping up. One of them is Anxiety Girl. Another one is Backseat Driver. There's one that's got a guy with a mullet and a trucker hat, and it's Captain America. There is, let's see, they got a whole bunch of them that are like that. What was the other one? Congressman as the most useless. I got to tell you what, that's probably the winner, right?
That's not bad.
The most useless superhero, congressman.
Certainly can be.
I mean, feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
I mean, it just makes sense if the whole world's going to hell anyway.
There are too many useless congressmans
and congresswomans
and womans. Way too many.
Yeah, they got a League of Justice. They need some help.
I don't think the League of Justice could help even.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
I'm a martial artist, a pilot, mountain biker, hiker. The thing that brings me down is my feet. When my wife finally talked me into going into the Good Feet store, the salesperson there immediately started investing himself in my problem. This is not something that you could solve online. There's got to be somebody there that can help you find that fit. You put in the arch supports and your day becomes better and the clouds go away and it's a good life. I wear them all the time. Good Feet has saved the day.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief. Good Feet arch supports are proudly made in the USA.
Hey, St. Louis, I want to have an honest conversation about real estate. Never in modern history have we seen a market like this before, and most homes are receiving multiple offers, often well over asking. You can trust that when you hire us, we will market your home correctly and professionally while saving you money. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty, and I've been a broker for over 18 years and have helped thousands of my clients navigate every type of market, including this one. Why pay more than 314-441-4444.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
CertaPro painters have powers beyond those of ordinary painters.
The power of precision.
That's the power of a skilled local team who know what they're doing.
The power of accurate estimates.
Estimates, not guesstimates.
The power of certainty.
CertaPro painters. That's the power of pro. Get your project started at CertaPro.com.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
An Odyssey station.
Home values are through the roof with buyers paying way over asking price. You'd love to cash out your home's equity, but you're not quite ready to move, and soaring interest rates make cash out refinancing too expensive. Plus, you'll only get a fraction of your home's equity. It makes no sense. I have a smarter option, Truehold.com. Truehold will buy your home for full cash value. And here's the best part. You get to bank all the cash now and continue living in your home as long as you want. It's life-changing. And Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance, too. Let's review. Truehold pays you 100% of your home's value in cash fast. Use your cash to do everything you've dreamed of. Travel, pay off debt, or buy that new right-size home on the golf course. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com for the smarter, faster way to cash out your home's full value without having to move. 855-300-9993 or go to Truehold.com.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news, KMOX.
At 12 noon, it's a sunny sky at 91 degrees. It feels like 102 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, and our top story this hour is just getting underway. The January 6th committee is plunging into Donald Trump's last-ditch effort to salvage the 2020 election by pressuring Vice President Mike Pence to reject the electoral count, powers Pence didn't have. The hearing getting underway in just a couple of minutes is expected to focus on how Mr. Trump latched onto a strategy from conservative law professor John Eastman to pressure Pence days before the vice president was to preside over the January 6th joint session of Congress to certify Joe Biden's electoral victory. Testimony is expected from the vice president's counsel, Greg Jacob, and a retired federal judge, Michael Luttig, who called the plan, quote, incorrect at every turn. A federal appeals court in St. Louis hears the case of a street minister ticketed for giving bologna sandwiches to the homeless.
This is Kevin Killeen. That 3-judge federal panel heard arguments from Pastor Ray Redlick's attorney, he's with the New Life Center downtown, that handing out food to the poor is protected by the Constitution in 2 ways. It's freedom of religion and freedom of speech. It's an expression to hand out food to the poor. But an attorney for the city argues that the city has rights too. health laws that you cannot pass out food to people unless the kitchen is permitted by the city and undergoes inspection to make sure it's sanitary.
The white man who shot to death 10 black people at a Buffalo supermarket made his first appearance in federal court on hate crime charges. The judge today urged prosecutors to quickly decide whether to pursue the death penalty given the substantial cost of those cases. Friends of a Mizzou fraternity pledge left blind and unable to walk after a hazing ritual have gathered thousands of signatures asking prosecutors to press charges. Tom Santoli says his 19-year-old son Danny was forced to drink vodka and beer until he went into cardiac arrest. He says surveillance video is telling.
And no one called 911. It was pretty clear, with his lips being blue and his body being cold, first and foremost, you call 911 because we could have used those 15 minutes.
The family has reached civil settlements with the fraternity and local members, but continues to seek criminal charges related to the incident. Florida continues to push back on federal COVID guidelines a day after an FDA panel recommended vaccines for children 5 and under.
I'm Peter King. Florida is the only state that hasn't ordered vaccine doses for kids. Governor Ron DeSantis says state health officials don't think healthy children should be vaccinated.
Now, from the 6 month to 5, the state's recommendation holds. It's a recommendation against doing it. That's different than saying you can't. You are free to choose. That's not an issue.
DeSantis and the state surgeon general have constantly pushed back on federal guidelines during the pandemic. A Florida Health Department statement calls the federal response inconsistent and unsustainable. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
From the First Mid-Bank and Trust Business Desk, it's an unusual move for what's been an unusual takeover bid for Twitter by the world's richest man. Tesla CEO Elon Musk addressed the social platform's employees today, even though his $44 billion offer has not yet been completed. Musk reached the deal in April, but has clashed with the company repeatedly since then over the number of bots or fake accounts that exist on the social media platform. The Dow from Stifel is down over 2%, 640 points to 30,028. The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. And we've got some debris on 6440 going east at Research Park Circle. It's in the right lane. There's a crash on 6440 eastbound to Big Bend. There's a stall 170 south at Brentwood in the center lane. Another stall 270 west past Bell Fountain. That's on the right shoulder. And a crash 370 east at I-70 on the left shoulder.
Dangerous heat and humidity this afternoon, approaching the record high of 100. Real feel highs in the 105 or better range. Thunderstorms that could contain flash flooding, hail, and damaging wind gusts late tonight, tomorrow morning. Another shower thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon. We still get above 90 tomorrow. I think we stay in the 80s Saturday, but then above 90 Sunday and near 100 by Monday again. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
It's partly cloudy and 91 in Florissant, 91 in St. Peters, and 91 degrees. It feels like 102 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Sponsored by Total Wine and More. When you discover a new favorite bottle of Cabernet or bourbon at Total Wine, you'll discover a whole lot more. So explore the wondrous selection and totally low prices at TotalWine.com, where you'll love what you find. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly, B21.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
It's Thursday on the show here on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Amy out today and tomorrow. I'll be back early next week, either Monday or Tuesday, off for a marathon this weekend. And obviously we'll check in with Amy again next week. All right, right now we're going to check in on the January 6th committee. The hearing is just getting underway. So we're going to eavesdrop on that just a little bit and obviously branch off into a couple of conversations right now. The chairman of the committee, Benny Thompson, is setting things up for the day.
President Trump was told his election fraud allegations were complete nonsense. We heard this from members of the Trump campaign. We heard this from President Trump's campaign lawyers. We heard this from President Trump's former Attorney General, Bill Barr. We heard this from President Trump's former acting Attorney General, Jeff Rosen. And we heard this from President Trump's former acting Deputy Attorney General, Richard Donahue. We heard from members of President Trump's White House staff as well. Today, we're focusing on President Trump's relentless effort to pressure Mike Pence to refuse to count electoral votes on January 6th. Here again is how the former vice president phrased it in a speech before the Federalist Society, a group of conservative lawyers.
This week, that President Trump said I had the right to overturn the election. But President Trump is wrong. I had no right to overturn the election. The presidency belongs to the American people and the American people alone. And frankly, there is no idea more un-American than the notion that any one person could choose the American president.
What the president wanted the vice president to do was not just wrong, it was illegal and unconstitutional. We will hear many details in today's hearing, but please consider these 2 points. First, President Trump was told repeatedly that Mike Pence lacked the constitutional and legal authority to do what President Trump was demanding he do. This is testimony from Mark Short, the vice president's chief of staff, who served in the Trump administration in multiple positions over 4 years.
But just to pick up on that, Mr. Short, was it your impression that the vice president had directly conveyed his position on these issues to the president, not just to the world through a dear colleague letter, but directly to President Trump?
Many times.
And had been consistent in conveying his position to the president?
Very consistent.
Okay.
But President Trump plotted with a lawyer named John Eastman to pressure Pence to do so anyway. As the federal court has explained, quote, based on the evidence, the court finds that it is more likely than not that President Trump and Dr. Eastman dishonestly conspired to obstruct the joint session of Congress on January 6th, 2021. What exactly did President Trump know? When exactly did President Trump know that it would be illegal for Mike Pence to refuse to count electoral votes? Here is one sample of testimony given by one of the witnesses before us today, the Vice President's General Counsel.
Did John Eastman ever admit, as far as you know, in front of the president, that his proposal would violate the Electoral Count Act?
I believe he did on the 4th.
That was January 4th, 2 days before the attack on Congress. A second point, please listen to testimony today about all of the ways that President Trump attempted to pressure Vice President Pence, including Donald Trump's tweet at 2:24 p.m. condemning Vice President Mike Pence when President Trump already knew a violent riot was underway at the Capitol. In future hearings, you will hear from witnesses who were present inside the White House, who were present inside the West Wing on that day. But today we focus on the earnest efforts of Mike Pence, who was determined to abide by his oath of office. As Vice President Pence prepared a statement on January 5th and 6th, explaining that he could not illegally refuse to count electoral votes, he said this to his staff.
I mean, the vice president had said, this may be the most important thing I ever say. And this meaning the statement? The statement. And he really wanted to make sure that it was just so.
You will hear today that President Trump's White House counsel believed that the vice president did exactly the right thing on January 6th, as did others in the White House, as did Fox News host Sean Hannity. Vice President Pence understood that his oath of office was more important than his loyalty to Donald Trump. He did his duty. President Trump unequivocally did not. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Without objection, I recognize the gentleman from California, Mr. Aguilar, for an opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Today, we intend to show the American people that January 6th was not an isolated incident. In the weeks culminating before, it was a legal scheme and deception. We've already learned that President Trump knew he lost the 2020 election. Shortly after, he began to look for a way to circumvent our country's most fundamental civic tradition, the peaceful transfer of power. The president latched on to a dangerous theory and would not let go because he was convinced it would keep him in office. We witnessed firsthand what happened when the President of the United States weaponized this theory. The Capitol was overrun, police officers lost their lives, and the Vice President was taken to a secure location because his safety was in jeopardy. Let's take a look at the effect of Donald Trump's words and actions. I want to warn our audience that the video contains explicit content.
Mike Pence is going to have to come through for us. And if he doesn't.
All right, so that was Representative Pete Aguilar. We heard Liz Cheney before that, just kind of setting up the day and what they're going to plan on showing everybody. The videos there, we have bailed out a little bit because there's going to be some audio that we probably don't want to go live over the radio with as part of the videos that were there. And in fact, you know what, kind of as a tie-in to that, Ranj, we did find some video or some audio from a video that tied into a story from yesterday. We can get into this maybe a little bit in the next segment. But Barry Loudermilk, was at the center of an accusation that he led a tour the day before January 6th, and that some of those people were involved on January 6th. They were seen, with cameras, multiple cameras. With one guy had like 2-3 cameras, and they were shooting like hallways and security checkpoints, taking pictures and stuff. It was really
the kind
odd.
of stuff you wouldn't normally take photos of if you were a tourist.
It was really odd, and he had denied having taken anybody on a tour, and then the video comes out of him walking around with this group of people. And the same guy that was in the video with Loudermilk also recorded video of himself on the 6th, and some of the things that he said. When we come back, we'll play a little bit about that and discuss here on the show on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Thanks for calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK. This is Sarah. How can I help?
I want to hear that sound again.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
That's the sound?
That's the sound of the room getting bigger.
And cleaner.
And happier.
I love a happy room.
Is there anything else we can do for you?
I'd like you to come to my house right before we go on vacation.
You want to come home to a big, clean, happy house.
There's nothing better than that.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Get great money for your old money. SNL Coin is always buying Morgan Silver dollars and Peace dollars. SNL Coin is always buying Walking Liberty half dollars and Franklin half dollars. SNL Coin is always buying 90% silver coins, dimes and quarters. SNL Coin is always buying silver bullion rounds and bars. Call SNL Coin, 9300 Gravoy Road, 544-3600 before you sell. SNL Coin also buys scrap gold, gold-filled, silver plate items, and sterling flatware. Precious metal gets you better money at SNL Coin.
Hey guys, Glover here, and I see clearly thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
Recent impacts with inflation, ongoing COVID concerns, and geopolitical conflict have us all and the markets on edge. Heisey Advisory Group understands the importance of having a customized strategy for retirement, especially during uncertain times, to help ensure these concerns don't have an impact on your retirement. Heisey Advisory Group is a St. Louis-based, family-owned and operated holistic retirement planning firm. Our team has defined a process that puts together all the pieces of the financial puzzle, working with all of your service providers to help develop an individualized plan that grows with you as your life changes and your needs evolve. If you're not confident that your retirement plan is on track to deliver the lifestyle you want amid historic levels of uncertainty, call us today at 314-328-4400. That's 314-328-4400.
Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Firm provides insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. You'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/joy. That's forhims.com/joy for your free online visit. forhims.com/JOY.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. Do you have a home or a business made out of stone or brick? If so, listen up, because Morelli Tuck Pointing is the masonry specialist, serving St. Louis for 31 years. Morelli Tuck Pointing can work on completely solid houses and buildings, spot pointing with color match, brick and stone repair, foundation repair, walkways, porches. This time of year, people notice that their patios are somewhat cattywampus and those bricks need realignment. How about caulking, waterproofing? Morelli is a family-owned and operated business. Longtime employees there feel like family. And of course, everyone at Morelli is very proud to be a recipient of the Better Business Bureau Torch Award, which is only given to local companies with exceptional customer service. Today, you can call to request a free and quick estimate at 314-645-1387. When it comes to bricks and stone, go to the best. Morelli Tuck Pointing at MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Local news and information direct to your smart speaker. Just say, play KMOX.
Back another show on KMOX. Chris Raji and Kevin Wheeler with you here. Amy will be back next week. Off today, tomorrow, and probably Monday as well. All right, so we've got our Cardinal Redbird report coming up in a few minutes. We'll talk a bit about Jack Flaherty's season debut, what's coming up this weekend with the Boston Red Sox. All that'll be coming up after the 12:30 news. But, Raj, we were talking about the story from yesterday, and we have this audio that we want to play. It's not very long, but the story has been there was an accusation that Barry Loudermilk from Georgia had given a tour to people the day before January 6th, and that some of them had been involved then in January 6th. And he had initially denied that there was a tour. Yesterday, the January 6th committee released video that shows him leading a tour of people, that shows one of those people with several cameras, several phones in his hand, taking various pictures, videos of hallways, stairways, security checkpoints. And again, none of this is not, we don't know what that was what that was used for. We don't know all that. But what we do know is that what was initially denied did actually happen. And we do know that the guy in these videos, in the surveillance video, taking all of these pictures, participated on January 6th. We know this because he recorded it. And here's some of what he recorded as he and the group that he was with were approaching the Capitol on January 6th.
There's no escape, Pelosi, Schumer, Nadler. We're coming for you. We're coming in like white on rice for Pelosi, Nadler, Schumer, even you, AOC. We're coming to take you out and pull you out by your hairs. How about that, Pelosi? Go, might as well make yourself another appointment. I get done with you. You're going to need a shine up on top of that bald head.
So very odd. And it was obviously longer. We only picked out a small selection of it because you don't want to. It
seems like a nice fella.
It's a lot of rambling and a lot of that kind of stuff. But see, this is the idea here, and what the committee is trying to show. And we talked about this earlier in the show with Thane Rosenbaum from CBS News, who's one of their legal analysts. Essentially, what they're trying to prove is that it wasn't just spontaneous, that there was planning in advance, that there were people that were communicating it. The committee is saying that they're going to make the case, or they're in the process of, I guess, right, Ron? In the process of making the case that the president knew, the former president, Donald Trump, knew that some of this was going on. They're alleging a conspiracy, essentially. They haven't gotten to the point of proving that just yet, but that's what they're doing with the hearings, is they're trying to make that case. That's part of what they're trying to do, because all of these other individuals are being prosecuted for various crimes separately. That's not about this is not about any of that. But this kind of thing is showing that there was a person who was inside the Capitol the day before January 6th, who's clearly not there just to say, I'm here and I don't like what's happening and I'm protesting. I mean, you're saying we're coming for you, drag you out by your hair, no escape this time. I mean, it's one guy. It doesn't mean that every dude there is saying the same thing, but it's kind of indicative of what we're talking about here, that it wasn't necessarily just a I got caught up in the moment kind of thing.
Well, first of all, I don't believe that I would have you'd have to convince me that Donald Trump actively spoke directly to people who ended up storming the Capitol and causing damage and looking for Congress people or whatever. I don't really think that happened. But I do believe that he wouldn't mind if it did happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a difference between calling people or messaging people directly and saying, I want you to storm the Capitol.
Yeah, that did. I mean,
and there's a difference between that and
Yeah.
like, if it happens, though, I'm not going to be terribly upset. I believe that it's more of the latter. Now, as far as Loudermilk is concerned, it was a day in which the Capitol grounds were shut down to visitors, and he had people in there. I don't think that's inherently bad. Now, keep in mind, this was during COVID, before the vaccines were widely available to everybody, so things were still kind of on a...
They're wearing masks in the video. Of
Yeah,
course,
there was still sort of a precautionary measures were taking place. I don't think it's inherently bad to bring in guests. If you're a congressperson, bring in guests to the Capitol or the Capitol complex, Capitol grounds or whatever, and show them around. I don't think that's bad. That's okay to do that because, look, there have been times I've worked in a building and I've had, my parents or whatever, and like, hey, you want to come up and see the station? I'll show it to you, even though it's like 8:00 at night and nobody's there. I don't think that's that big of a deal. But there is something, and I don't know what to make of the video or videos that the January 6th committee have of that tour, because they are taking photos of stuff that doesn't look like the kind of stuff that tourists would take. A staircase that isn't looks like a basement staircase, of security checkpoints. It doesn't appear to be anything that is of particular interest to a tourist. I'm not saying it's anything because I don't know. I don't know if it's anything. It might be totally, totally harmless. And if you read the letter the January 6th committee sent yesterday, it said, we're not accusing you of doing these things. We just want to talk to you about what this video is. What is happening in this video?
In other words, you can come tell us your side of the story.
And he doesn't want to do that. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you're trying to investigate what happened on that day and what happened in the lead up, why would you not want to look at every avenue? And there is a suspicious, weird looking video that doesn't appear to be particularly normal. And all they want to do is talk to the guy. And if he says and proves, there's nothing going on there. Here's what they're looking at. Here's what they're taking photos. Okay, fine. But it looks off. If you watch the videos for yourself, something doesn't look right.
It's out of place, but it was also following a denial that it even happened.
Sure.
I mean, so why would, and this is the point. Again, you could have an explanation for it.
Yeah.
You could have a very simple explanation. I forgot about it. Those are my next door neighbors.
Right. Or I didn't want to
whatever.
Just by admitting to it, it makes it sound like a bigger deal than it actually is. And
trying to protect the guy or whatever.
I wanted it to go away. That all those things could be absolutely true in this case. But in order to figure that out, they probably should talk to him, and he should be willing to put those things to rest.
I do think the perception problem here is that it's being perceived as as a court case. People are talking about it.
A court case.
No, I know, but people are
right.
talking about it in that way. We get questions quite a bit on the text line 314-436-7900 about why aren't they being cross-examined? Well, it's not a court case. And so it's not done like a trial. It's a hearing. They are asking questions. And by the way, any of the people that could have been on this committee would have been amongst those asking the questions if they had agreed to be in the mix. And by the way, other people could go ask these same witnesses questions. Could you not? Well, you may not be able to subpoena them. You may not have the power to do that, but you could call them and ask them. If you're a senator, if you're a congressperson and you want to have a conversation with somebody, couldn't you reach out and say, hey, I'd like to ask you a couple questions about this? They'd have to agree.
Right.
It's not like it would be, you don't have the subpoena power unless you have a committee that's convened. And maybe that is something that's going to happen down the road. In fact, I've seen somebody mention that down the road, if the House shifts in November, that they might do that. All right. You'll have that opportunity, and you had that opportunity before. But I do think that there's a little bit of I don't think confusion is the right word, but I do think there's a little bit of mixing the terminology of a trial into what is not a trial, right? I mean, you are under oath.
Yeah.
You are expected to tell the truth, but this is not going to convict anybody. Nothing that comes out of this is going to lead to somebody being arrested.
I believe in a lot of cases, it doesn't matter what it is. I think sometimes people want to get into a semantics argument so they don't have to get into a substance argument. And I believe that's kind of what's happening here. This isn't a fair trial. Well, no, it's not a trial.
Right.
Did you hear what Trish said on the Glover Show?
Someone just took a sandwich off my desk.
Where was it on your desk?
Right on top. Like, you couldn't miss it if you walked in the office.
Gotcha.
Which I thought was safe, and someone stole my sandwich. You guys, I don't think, because I think you'd finally tell me and start laughing. Well, I don't think you would do that, or I think you would say later, hey, I took that sandwich. And
So
I
we're
wouldn't care.
suspects. We're
No,
light suspects.
everybody is.
Wow.
Everybody is, Dave.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 2 on KMOX.
Tom Ackerman for Building Community with Busey Bank, a podcast series easily accessible at KMOX.com/community banking. With a focus on community banking, who better to join us than Sandy DeMond, Senior Vice President and Director of Community Banking at Busey. She joined Jeff Burgess and me to discuss Busey's financial literacy programs available to both students and adults. Listen to our June podcast, Building Community with Busey Bank, at KMOX.com/community banking.
New collaborative workspace located within the PwC Pennant Building in Ballpark Village. The Spark co-working community supports the thriving St. Louis entrepreneurial ecosystem, where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within one district. The all-inclusive workspace includes furnished month-to-month offices and suites with stadium, city, and arch views, concierge mail service, nitro cold brew coffee on tap, and so much more. Call 314-278-5297 or visit spark-stl.com.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Rochelle talks about her experience with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
It was a wonderful experience. I had heard about them on the radio. They come out to your house. They let you know what they do. They let you pick out your features, your colors, and then they come into your home the morning they start. They walk you through, this is what's going to happen, and you leave for a few days, and you come home, and it's done.
Was it easy?
It made it easy because you're not in the middle of a mess for 2 or 3 months. Left on a Tuesday morning, and it was done on a Thursday night. We came home Friday morning early because we were so excited.
What was your reaction when you first saw it?
Wow.
It's about time.
3 days or less
at 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Hi, this is Ken Newbold at Newbold Toyota. If you're worried about gas prices, Toyota has the most models of hybrid electrics in the industry. From the best-selling Camry to the best-selling RAV4, we've got it all. So come see us. That's Newbold Toyota in O'Fallon, Illinois, or newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
Attention business owners. This is a public awareness message from the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team. The war against hackers and ransomware is underway. The only way to prevent the war from impacting your business is to speak with the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team immediately. You need to act now. The ThrottleNet cybersecurity team is prepared to protect you against cyber threats. Schedule a meeting right away by visiting throttlenet.com/cyberwar.
At 12:30 right now, it is a partly cloudy sky, 92 degrees downtown at the Arch. It feels like 103. The excessive heat warning continues, and we're going to check our forecast coming up in just a second. But first, let's take you to the network.
CBS News Special Report. The January 6th House panel is diving back into public hearings today and focusing on former President Trump's last-ditch effort to overturn 2020 election results. Committee Chair, Congressman Benny Thompson.
The former president wanted Pence to reject the votes and either declare Trump the winner or send the votes back to the states to be counted again.
More testimonies expected from the former VP's counsel and a retired federal judge.
Today, the Select Committee is going to reveal the details of that pressure campaign.
Here's CBS's Skylar Henry.
Committee members say President Trump listened to attorney John Eastman, who insisted Pence had the power to block the certification.
As a federal judge has indicated, this likely violated 2 federal criminal statutes. President Trump had no factual basis for what he was doing, and he had been told it was illegal.
CBS News Special Report. I'm Monica Ricks.
And the Dow from Stifel is down just under 2%, down 591 points at this hour to 30,076. Traffic-wise, there's a crash on 94 going east past Port West Drive. The right lane is closed. And some debris on 6440 east at Research Park Circle. The right lane is closed. A crash on 6440 east to Big Bend. And a stall I-170 south at Brentwood has the center lane closed. And our forecast, dangerously hot and humid this afternoon with some sun and a high approaching the record of 100 set in 1952. For tonight, it'll be warm and sticky with a strong to severe thunderstorm later tonight into tomorrow morning. Storms could bring strong flash flooding, large hail, and damaging winds with a low 76. For tomorrow afternoon, still hot and humid with a shower thunderstorm around and a high of 91. Sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck, your premier provider with fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. It is 92. It feels like 103 downtown. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Hey, St. Louis, I want to have an honest conversation about real estate. Never in modern history have we seen a market like this before, and most homes are receiving multiple offers, often well over asking. You can trust that when you hire us, we will market your home correctly and professionally while saving you money. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty, and I've been a broker for over 18 years and have helped thousands of my clients navigate every type of market, including this one. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED. But what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now. 314-530-7777.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very, very good friend, Dr. Kathy Maupin at BioBalanceHealth.com. If you have reached that certain age and you're just not feeling very well and nothing's working the way it used to work, go see Dr. Kathy. She is not only a medical doctor, she is a patient of this bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. It absolutely works. It's a long-term solution. She is an artist when it comes to helping you with your hormones. BioBalanceHealth.com for Dr. Kathy Maupin.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Join me Monday mornings at 9:50 for our new feature, 5 Minutes with Number 5. And you know who that is, Albert Pujols. 5 Minutes with Number 5, Mondays at 9:50 a.m. on the Voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
The pitch by Waino. Albert is hit high and deep. A home run for Harrison Bader. Yadier Molina has homered. Double play. It's a big fly for Albert Pujols. A home run in the first inning for Goldie.
This is the Redbirds Report.
12:30 every day here on the show. We jump into what the latest with the Cardinals, the latest of course, from yesterday, Ranj, was a loss to the Pirates, which not something you want to sweat too much. I think you win 3 out of 4. You've done your job in a series. Even the bad teams get paychecks too, right? That's the old cliche.
No, I think it's time to freak out. Freak out.
Having won 3 out of 4, you get the loss yesterday. It still stinks to lose. Yeah. But the good news was Jack Flaherty started. He didn't go very deep, but that was expected. He threw 60 pitches. He had a couple of heavy innings early, gave up some damage. Early on, as he put it, he was a little fired up, a little bit emotional, a little bit excited. And you can see that, by the way, in his fastball. In the first inning, that fastball was 94, 95 pretty regularly. And then after that, second and third inning, he was more like 90, 91. So, again, it's just the adrenaline there. Because he normally, in a healthy year, he normally sits around 92, 93. You know, like 93 was where he was last year when he was healthy. That's kind of his norm. And yesterday it wound up being 92, but it was extremes. It was first inning at 94, 95, and then after that it was more like 90, 91. No, I didn't see anything there from a health perspective that was worrisome. I saw a guy that was a little excited and wasn't very sharp.
No, and it wasn't like he was getting absolutely smoked. There were 4 hard hit balls classified as hard hit balls against him. One of them was the Reynolds triple, which was absolutely tattooed.
Yep.
But the others were outs. And I know that's not always going to fall your way, but for a guy who's just making a start here and is trying to work his way back, and there's going to be a settling in process, I can't get too upset about. I wasn't going to be upset regardless.
All we want to hear
yesterday
is just, over the next couple of days,
how does he feel? Yes.
Is he going to be good to make his next start?
Right.
Because if the word is that he's going to be good to stay on turn, then he's healthy, and eventually Jack Flaherty will pitch like Jack Flaherty. I mean, he's the most. Waino has been the ace for a lot of his time here. He's been the ace really the last couple of years. Michaelis has pitched that way this year. Your most gifted starter is Flaherty. I mean, he's the guy with the best stuff, the best ability, the highest, what would we say that? What's that? The highest ceiling of all of the guys that you would put into the rotation. On the offensive side, Ranj, looking at some things in the month of June. We know that Goldie's been on fire really since like the second week of the season, and it hasn't slowed down. So he's killing it. Don't need to spend too much time on him. Brendan Donovan has been a revelation. He has not slowed down. In fact, he came up in May, got off to a good start, putting up good numbers, and it's gotten even better in June. He's hitting 400 this month. I mean, it's only halfway through the month, so it's only 2 weeks, 16 days. But the thing that doesn't stop is the quality of the at bat. Draws walks. He's not a home run hitter, but he's got 7 doubles in 15 games this month. So and the fact that he plays everywhere,
right,
is such a big deal. And honestly, he's the kind of guy that every good team needs.
It's funny to me because I have, I've got a lot of friends who are Cubs fans, and
sorry for them.
Yeah, I know. This was a few years ago when Paul DeYoung first came up, and he's doing really well. Yeah. And I was rooting for him, obviously, for a bunch of different reasons. One being a Cardinal, 2 being a Redbird, Illinois State Redbird. Mm-hmm. Wanted him to do well.
I think that's where you went to school, right?
It just so happens
sources
to be.
say.
Sources say.
I had a source tell me that.
Let me confirm. Yes, I did go to Illinois State. But this guy says, and I can't remember who it was, but it always stuck with me. It was about Paul DeYoung, and he said, "Oh, great. Another guy the Cardinals invented," because there's always
somebody every year.
Always just a guy, and now Brendan Donovan gets to be that guy.
And Yepes is actually kind of that guy too, because he wasn't a highly regarded prospect. He wasn't a high draft pick, and the Cardinals got him in the deal for Matt Adams. So when they sent Matt Adams to Atlanta, essentially doing Adams a favor because he really didn't have a place here at the time, and it looked like just a giveaway. And Yepes was at that time in low A, wasn't hitting for any power, wasn't really considered a prospect, but he became that. And he just out of nowhere, here's a guy that tore up AAA and he's been pretty good. He's slowed down a little this month, but I mean, I think that's not to be expected. And you will have times of the year, no matter whether you're a rookie or not, where you're not at your peak.
Yeah, and you mentioned Donovan being able to play multiple positions. It's like the Cardinals have a Nick Punto who can slug. That's kind of what it is. He's playing all over the field.
He's the next Tommy Edman is what he is. I mean, he plays everywhere. And in Tommy's case, he settled in at second base last year and won a Gold Glove. And he's playing a lot of shortstop now by necessity. The funny thing is that Paul DeYoung is actually hitting really well at Memphis. He's been hitting really well there for a while now. He's already got, I think, 7 or 8 home runs this month. So in 2 weeks, he's hit like 7 home runs. But there's nowhere you could bring him up to play him.
Not right now, but he could find his way back here.
Because they're still
Hopefully
playing.
there's no injury or anything serious that you have to deal with. But
Nolan Gorman's struggling a little bit. I mean, in the month of June, he's hitting $188. He struck out 18 times in 50 plate appearances. So, I mean, that's 36% strikeout rate. It's pretty high. League average is about 23%. So that's pretty high. And I wonder if at some point they'll end up just saying, back to, go back to work, go play every day, because Donovan can play every day at second base, right? I mean, you don't have a whole lot of room for him in the outfield with O'Neill and Carlson back and Bader playing center field. DH, you're looking for at-bats for Albert against lefties. You're looking for at-bats for Juan Yepez, too. There isn't a ton of room to make all of this work. And at some point, that might be and end up being the deciding factor if Gorman doesn't get on a hot streak here soon.
No. And by the way, we always talk in every season, there's always a team in the division or two that you end up absolutely dominating. And right now, and there's no surprise they have become this team, but it is the Pittsburgh Pirates for the Cardinals. They've played 10 games. They've won 8 of those games.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you win a division. You do well against the better teams, but then you just absolutely curb stomp the teams that are bad. They've done it against the Reds so far. They've only played 6 games, but they've won 4 of those.
Yeah.
I would imagine that trend is going to continue throughout the year. And the Cardinals may not win the division. I would be stunned, though, if they don't end up a postseason team in some manner. If it's a wild, there's the extra wild card again this year.
Yeah,
so if they don't make it,
the old school view is essentially you play 500 against the good teams,
right?
And you beat up the bad teams, and that's how you win 95 to 100 games,
right? And they're pretty much doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any complaints at the moment. I mean, don't get me wrong. I see flaws. I see areas where you can be concerned. Yeah,
except maybe the Yankees.
You want to get more innings from your rotation to preserve the bullpen. You want more guys in the pen to step up and be a little bit more consistent. You need more consistent offense, although it's been better lately. The offense has been more consistent the last couple of weeks.
Right.
But yeah, you need Tyler O'Neill to be Tyler O'Neill. And he's better since coming back, but he's not what he was last year. So yes, there are flaws. It's not to say that everything's going well, but if you take the broad strokes, you step back 10,000-foot view and say it's June 16th. You've had 1 start from Jack Flaherty.
Yep.
And you're a game and a half ahead of Milwaukee for first place in the division. And by the way, O'Neill went on the injured list. And Dylan Carlson went on the injured list. And, you've had various things that you've had to deal with, inconsistencies, struggles with the offense, all that. And yet you're in a decent position having had just 1 start from your most talented pitcher. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to automatically stay that way. We don't know that Jack's going to stay healthy. We don't know you're not going to have other injuries. We don't know, we don't know what's going to happen, but it is a decent place to be at this stage. Right? I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a good spot to be in as a jumping off point moving forward.
Yeah, you're above 500 at home, which you're supposed to be if you're a good team. You're above 500 on the road. The results are there. And
9 games over 500 on the season. Yeah.
And you are, look, there will be criticism, as there always is, with teams that win bad divisions or are winning in bad divisions. And it'll be just that. Oh, well, yeah, of course they've got this record. They're in the National League Central. Doesn't matter. No. It doesn't matter. What matters is, do you make it to the postseason? And I suppose when you look back on the record, if you want to make a case, if the record ends up being poor against good teams, you can make the case that going into a postseason
could be
series
an indicator you're in trouble.
Might be an indicator, might not.
Of course, the playoffs are pretty random, though.
Right. There is a lot of random, but
I mean, how many years have the Dodgers been the best team in baseball in the last decade?
Right, but I think it's
8 times, 9 times in the last 10 years.
Right, but it is easier.
And they have 1 title.
It's easier to have a really good team lose a series, strangely, than it is a bad team or the worst team in the playoffs to make it all the way through to the World Series.
Except for the last 2 Cardinals teams that won the World Series, which were both
teams,
that.
Well, in terms of record, they were, but those were good teams that had injuries. And
I agree.
Especially
I'm just saying that the record said that they were not the team that was going to win the World Series.
But especially the 83 win team, that team was way better than way better than their record.
Yeah,
which does happen sometimes.
They were exactly what you just described. Won a bad division, a lot of problems during the course of the year, and then all that matters is how are you playing when the postseason starts.
That lineup though.
Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah, but
very, very strong.
You had Anthony Reyes and Jeff Weaver starting in the World Series.
Right. Which is still,
and they were doing well. I mean, they did well, but
Yeah.
they weren't exactly prominent stars at the time.
No.
So it'd be interesting to see how this plays. You got Boston starting tomorrow. It'll be Adam Wainwright and Michael Wacha. How about that matchup in game 1 of the series? Oh, by the way, Boston has won 20 of their last 27, and they're still 12 and a half games behind the Yankees.
Unbelievable. Who are 9 games up.
But they're playing,
Yeah.
but Boston's playing great, which is the point. I mean, they've won 20 of 27. It'll be a good challenge at Fenway Park this weekend. Game 1 is coming up tomorrow. Chris Raji, Kevin Wheeler with you here. It's the show on KMOX.
The following is a commercial announcement.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text LOCAL to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
At 420id.com, we make it easy to get your Missouri medical marijuana card. Dispensaries are open and inventory is in, so why wait? 420ID is the only company that provides you with a real plastic ID card and have served over 19,000 happy Missouri patients. Open late every day until 9 p.m. If we can't approve you, you pay nothing at 420id.com. Today is the day to sign up for your Missouri medical marijuana card at 420id.com. Use promo code RADIO and save $30 today. That's 420id.com.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee, structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Indoor plumbing, been around for decades, right? Well, when you have a problem with it, you need a plumber, and Beast Plumbing wants to be that plumber. I'll give you their contact information at the end of this, so get your phone ready so you can punch in their information. But when it comes to the flavor of the water that comes out of your tap, they have ways that they can improve that with different water filter systems, reverse osmosis systems. They are water treatment specialists at Beast Plumbing, and they can take care of that for you. Something simple like not enough water pressure coming out of your shower head, Beast Plumbing can take care of that too. And they've got another thing that's going on for the month of June. They've got $40 off all hose bibs. And a hose bib is a small faucet attachment on the outer wall of your home that gets you water to your backyard or to your driveway to wash your vehicle. No problem. Beast Plumbing's got that deal going. Get a hold of them as soon as you can by calling 314-698-1154 or beastplumbing.com. That's BEIS plumbing.com. Tell them Bo Matthews sent you to Beast Plumbing.
Tune in this weekend for Everyday Wealth with Soledad O'Brien and Gene Chatsky, presented by Edelman Financial Engines. Your hosts and their guests will explore how our financial decisions shape our everyday lives. For airtimes, visit everydaywealth.com.
Transform your home into the most beautiful home in your neighborhood with Banner Construction, St. Louis's premier James Hardy and Pella window expert. Add curb appeal and value to your home by calling Banner Construction 314-569-1050.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. Back to the show.
Yeah, the show!
With Amy, Chris, and Kevin on KMOX.
All right, just a few minutes left in this hour. One more hour to go. Carol Daniels going to pop in and join us after the top of the hour news. We got a few other bits of information. We're going to still keep tracking the January 6th committee hearing that's going on right now. If there's anything news breaking, if there's anything of significance that pops up between now and the end of the show, we'll try to bring that to you here during the show. But I wanted to ask you this, Ron, because last night, we only have a few minutes here, but I wanted to ask you that: do you like revenge movies?
Oh, like Payback,
like
Braveheart, anything Mel Gibson's
like
in?
like Man on Fire. That's a great one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, that's so good. Do you like those?
The Equalizer, is that considered a revenge movie?
I don't know.
I think it might be.
But it's the guy against the world, right? Gladiator. That's a great.
Yeah, that's a good revenge
elite
movie.
I saw one last night. I saw The Northman last night. It's not.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like those other ones. It's not. It's a little bit more artsy. It's a little bit more. It's really cool visually. Like, it's a really good looking movie. Like, they do a lot with visuals and things.
Is it real quick? Is that on Netflix or Hobo?
No, that was see, I watched it on Blu-ray.
Oh, you got a Blu-ray?
I do. I have I have an Xbox, so yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I
mean,
the Xbox
Blu-ray player is built into that,
right?
And I have a wife that works at the library, and they have movies at the library you can check out for free. See,
okay,
so that works. But I mean, I just thought, because I thought about it as I'm watching last night, like. She didn't. My wife had no interest in watching it. It's like, whatever. You can watch that on your own. I'm like, yeah, guys are the ones that kind of like those movies, but why?
Because they have their own revenge fantasies. They think, if this ever happens to me,
I want to do this.
Here's what I'm going to do.
I want to do.
I'm going to William Wallace all of you. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to.
What would you William Wallace somebody over?
Oh, well,
like stealing your parking spot.
No, I just go and complain to the building manager. I say, "Excuse me, sir. Somebody is in my parking space. If you don't mind, kindly have them removed. Good day." That's how I do it.
I would do that over blocking a lane of traffic.
Oh my God, Kevin, you were almost the Northman.
No.
Yes, you were 2 nights ago.
No, he took way too long, man. I mean, like I'm not going to give you away.
It was a lady, by the way.
I'm not going to give away any plot points because I want people.
Oh,
I mean,
you're talking
it's
about the
good.
Northman?
Yeah, the movie's good.
Yeah,
you should see it. It's
by
really
the way,
good.
If you have Peacock, it's on that for free.
There you go.
So you can the premium subscription.
But it's really
Peacock.
good. It's not elite. It does not fall into the Gladiator, Braveheart category. It's not there, but it's the next level down.
Do you like ratings? How do you feel about ratings? How do you feel about Rotten Tomatoes?
They're fine.
89% on Rotten Tomatoes
For the critics
good,
or the viewers?
All together. And on IMDb, it's 7.3.
Right.
Out of 10.
I would agree, closer to the 7.3.
Okay, so
it's good.
It's an above average.
It's a good
film.
movie. Yeah,
I'm into it. I want to watch it.
Put it this way: I liked it better than the new Top Gun. Now they're not the same movie. They're they're not the same kind of movie.
Oh.
They're very different.
Oh, Ethan Hawke is in it.
Yes,
and
Willem Dafoe and Nicole Kidman. And I always forget the younger lady's name.
Anya Taylor-Joy.
Yeah.
She's great too.
She's in something else. What was she just in too? She's in. She's in Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, she's in Peaky
the last
Blinders.
season. The season. Of Peaky
Well,
Blinders.
she's been in a couple seasons.
Yeah.
By the way, Ethan Hawke's daughter is in Stranger Things.
Yes.
I didn't
his daughter
realize
with
that
what's her
until-
name with Uma Thurman, because she looks a little bit like Uma Thurman.
That's right.
She's the kind of the. Is she a nerdy girl in Stranger Things?
She's
So they're
one-
all kind of nerdy kids.
Yeah, she's one of the. I think she was kind of.
She's
cool.
the funny one, I think.
Yeah, she's
The
funnier
smart
than the
Alice.
rest of them.
The smart
That's
Alec
right.
one. Speaking of Peaky, real quick, and again, no spoilers, no nothing like that. If you came up in Birmingham in that time period between World War I and World War II, Chris Ranji, are you a Peaky Blinder?
I would have to be.
Yeah,
I would have to be. Because I don't want to get murdered.
Well, I mean,
So
there are a lot of
guess
people
they
that
could
didn't get murdered
too,
that weren't Peaky
right?
Blinders. You know,
Yeah.
No,
you know what? I'd probably be IRA. I'd be with the Irish Republic Army.
You're not. Why would you be with the IRA growing up in Birmingham, England?
Well, they're part of the movie. They're part of the show.
I understand that, but
Yeah.
I said if you grew up in Birmingham,
Yeah, I guess
Birmingham, England,
I don't know.
and you would not be in the IRA because you wouldn't be Irish. Number one.
I'm just saying we're talking
In
about.
fact, IRA could actually be somewhat your enemy
That's right.
because you're a Brit.
We're talking about the show, though. Right. And who I'd be.
Yeah.
No, I'd probably be.
I think you'd be Mosley.
Mosley.
I'm kidding.
Oh, the Nazi?
He's the fascist.
Yeah, he's the Nazi.
It's like the anti-Ranji.
Yeah, it's very. I would like to go on record and just say this to you, Kevin, to you, Dave, to all the listeners. I am hugely anti-Nazi.
Of course.
Yeah.
I think that goes without saying.
Yeah.
I would be Arthur, I think, maybe.
See, you say that, and you said this
But
to
I'm
me
not a
before.
drunk.
You're not a drunk.
No.
And you're not
But
not
I have
hopped
that
up.
kind of like could snap at any moment feel.
Yeah. By the way, just as we go to break here, so many great TV shows on different services. So many, and Peaky Blinders is one of them. Go watch it.
Growing your family, opening your own business, retiring to travel, leaving your legacy. At Busey Bank, we know there's a lot to look forward to and a lot of planning along the way. Celebrate your life's milestones by putting your money to work with thoughtful advice, trusted resources, and proven results. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
Race fans, this is Frank Bomarito. The Bomarito Automotive Group 500 Race to the Savings Sales event is back, and you're the winner at every Bomarito location. When you purchase or lease any new or pre-owned vehicle, make your best deal and receive 2 tickets to the Bomarito Automotive Group 500. That's the Race to the Savings Sales event going on now. Details at Bomarito.com. See you at the track.
Men, if you suffer from erectile dysfunction or PE, you can call other clinics and hope for the best. Or you can experience the Paramount Men's Medical Center difference. Their licensed physicians offer treatments that have a 98% success rate, regardless of age or medical history. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Schwartz. If you're not the man you used to be in the bedroom, Paramount Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications with personalized care. Even men who have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And it's affordable.
Men, if Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, schedule a private consultation to experience the Paramount Men's Medical Center difference. See results on your first visit guaranteed, or your consultation is free. Call 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR St. Louis.
This is KMOX, the trusted voice of St. Louis.
An Odyssey station.
I've loved dancing for as long as I can remember, so my doctor really encouraged me to go back to it. Regular checkups, thorough exams, a whole wellness plan tailored just for me.
At Oak Street Health, we specialize in exceptional care for older adults. Our dedicated care teams provide the personalized care you need to stay healthy and live life more fully.
Age may be just a state of mind, but I mind it a lot less when I feel good.
Get the care you deserve. Visit oakstreethealth.com.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, 314-946-9999, 946, all nines. If you just inherited a property and you're not sure what you're going to do with it and you want an as-is sale, please reach out to us today. Especially with probate cases, we do a lot of work with the probate courts and we're very familiar with the confusing process. So if you have a house that you want to sell fast, maybe something that you just inherited, please reach out. Phone number is 314-946, all nines, ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN, 946-9999.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 1 o'clock, it's a partly cloudy sky, up to 94 degrees downtown at the Arch. It feels like 105. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour.
CBS News special report. At today's hearing by the January 6th Select Committee, the role of former Vice President Mike Pence on that day is being examined.
We're fortunate for Mr. Pence's courage on January 6th. Our democracy came dangerously close to catastrophe.
That's Committee Chairman Benny Thompson. The hearing is specifically focusing on pressure put on Pence by former President Trump and others to reject electoral votes for President Biden and give them to Mr. Trump, giving Mr. Trump the election. Former federal judge Michael Ludig, an appointee of former President George H.W. Bush, told the Pence camp it was unconstitutional.
That declaration of Donald Trump as the next president would have
plunged America into what would have been tantamount to a revolution within a constitutional crisis.
The hearing is continuing. CBS News Special Report. I'm Steve Futterman.
More baby formulas on its way to the U.S. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre.
We announced the 7th Operation Fly formula mission, which would transport the equivalent of close to 550,000 bottles of Nestle specialty formula from Switzerland to Louisville, some of the most high demand formula in the United States right now.
The Abbott plant in Michigan had to shut down again because of severe thunderstorms and rain. The company says it will assess the damage from that. If you want to bring more teachers back to the classrooms, bring back respect.
Overall, like our profession, we get beat up all the time. We get beat up all the time if the test scores are good, but they're not good enough.
St. Louis Public School teacher Albert Sanders has been in the classroom 23 years. A new statewide teacher recruitment and retention commission meets for the first time this month. Sanders says he would tell the commission that recognition and compensation are keys to attracting and keeping quality teachers. Sanders points out disparities in salaries between urban, suburban, and rural districts must be addressed to keep good teachers from leaving urban and rural schools for more lucrative suburban jobs. Brutal heat continues to roast much of the Midwest. Deep South and Southeast, Ryan Sweeney has been sighting a new house this week in the hills of eastern Kentucky.
Start on one side, stay away from the sun, work your way around the house, out of the sun's way, so that, you're not sitting there and baking in the heat all day.
Our heat index could top 105. From the First Mid-Bank Trust Business Desk, markets around the world are plummeting. That includes the Dow Jones, as the stock market is adjusting to yesterday's news of interest rate hikes. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger explains.
Stocks are selling off probably because investors are digesting exactly what the Federal Reserve told us yesterday. And I think that's important because the day of many Federal Reserve meetings, markets and investors react, but then maybe come to a different conclusion 24 hours or 12 hours later.
A worse than expected inflation report for May led the Fed to raise its benchmark interest rate by 0.75 of a point. It's implying that more large rate hikes are likely coming. And the Dow from Stifel is down over 2.5%, down 775 points to 29,892. And we've got a stalled vehicle, 270 north before 6440. It's on the right shoulder, and 55 south before Bayless on the right shoulder. 6440 east to 364 east. There's some debris to watch out for. And there's a crash on 94 going east past Port West Drive. It's got the right lane closed.
We should top out pretty close to 95 degrees this afternoon, so the record of 100 is safe. A mix of clouds and sunshine. It's hot, it's humid, just a tiny chance of a spot thunderstorm. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. Humidity stays up. Spot thunderstorm possible late night, 75. Friday, partly sunny, hot and humid, maybe a spot thunderstorm. But again, these things are hard to find. 95. Saturday looks great. Sunny, less humid, 89, 90. Sunday, sunny. Humidity starts to creep back up, 92 Sunday afternoon. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray for the Voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
It's partly cloudy and 92 in Florissant, 94 in St. Peter's, and 94 degrees. Feels like 105 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444.
.105 on KMOX, the show with Chris Raji and Kevin Wheeler. Today, Amy Markscore is off for the next couple of days leading up to a marathon this weekend, and of course be on her way back to St. Louis, so probably out Monday as well. She keeps talking about maybe trying to come straight here from the road on Monday, and I'm like, recover. Anything that's like that. So I've never run a marathon, wouldn't do that. I've played in a couple of what we call marathon baseball games, like world record length baseball games, like 60 hours.
Yeah.
And I know from that you need to recover. You need days to get your body right, to just rest and stop cramping up and stop. The first one we did was a long time ago, and a couple of good friends put these together. We raised money for charity. They're awesome. I think the group has done maybe 5 or 6 world record games. I think I've been in 3 of them. And the first one was 32 hours, which in retrospect doesn't seem like a lot, but it felt like it at the time. I got back after that, Ranj. I sat down to have dinner. I put my feet up on the footrest in the the recliner. I'm watching TV and I'm eating, and it's like now 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. I'm like, you know what? I'm done.
Yep.
I'm going to bed. I got to go to work tomorrow. I couldn't get out of the chair. I had to rock like 7 times just to get my butt out of the chair. And then once I got up, I almost fell over 3 times. Like that took a lot out of me.
Can you imagine somebody who does an Ironman triathlon?
I don't know how they do it. I have a friend that does the ultra marathons. Like they do the thing, like he lives in Chicago. They do the thing where they drop you off in Springfield, Illinois and say, run back.
Oh, I never even heard of that.
I don't know
What
if
is
it was
this, so
Springfield. I mean, it might be a bit more than I'm thinking, but I mean, like, they get dropped off like 100 miles away.
Is this Survivor Man?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but it's insane.
I've never even heard of that. Like I thought the Ironman was bad. You run a marathon.
Yep.
You swim 2.5 miles or something.
Yep.
And then you bike. Is it like 100, 110, 115 miles? You have to do all of that? Nah, man.
And by the way, we tease Amy a lot and all that, but doing that, I admire that so much. Like that is so hard to have the discipline to run at those kinds of paces for as long as they do. That's pretty amazing.
Literally runs like 20 something miles almost every day.
Yeah.
Especially when she's getting ready for one of these things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
So by the way, the ultra marathons, they go beyond the real marathon. So the regular one is 26.2 miles. Yeah. The ultra marathons are anywhere from 50 to 100 miles.
Yeah,
but they're all unique and different. Like they're all different distances. But the reality is they're all usually at least double a marathon.
Sounds horrible.
I know. Like
Sounds
it's got to
horrible.
be, and it's got to be bad for you. I mean, like marathon running is really, your leg problems, hip problems, the whole deal. And I can't even get past this fast. Like again, my friend Scott is the one that does it, and he's a normal guy. Like he is what do you call the people that aren't dentists but fix teeth?
Orthodontist.
Orthodontist. He's an orthodontist. And yet I don't know if he's still doing them. He may have stopped doing them, but even as of a couple of years ago, was still doing these super ridiculously long runs.
Well, running is good for you. Exercise is good for you.
Yes.
But there is a point where it's probably too much.
I mean, everything can be too much.
The guy who ran the marathon originally died after it. Like he
that was
died.
a hint. That was a hint.
Yeah, it's like, don't do this again. What was his name?
I don't know. We're not going to look it up now.
Yeah,
Carol
we're gonna
Daniels
look it
in
up.
studio. We want to talk to Carol.
What's up?
Hi, Carol.
How are you?
We were just sitting here marveling at Amy's ability to run marathons.
I don't get it.
And then the crazy people that actually do like ultra marathons that are twice the length of a regular marathon.
And I was a track star. It doesn't look
Yeah.
like it at all today at 60. All of this womanhood coming up in Studio B.
What were your events? Because I don't think I've known you for 16 years. I don't think I knew that.
Oh, okay. Well, I was a 400 because then it was the 400.
Uh-huh.
And I ran the 4x4 relay. I was the third leg. And 1 year, Coach Becky Oakes had me do the triple jump because she was like, I just need points on the board, Carol.
That looks really hard.
That was really hard because I'm 5'4". And
Those are usually tall people.
And so, but I had a little bit of vertical. So the goal was to get into the sand. You had to get beyond the hard ridges and get into the sand. But the goal wasn't first or second because I think you got points into fourth and fifth even.
Oh, so just getting points was
just
enough.
get points so that the team could, win that particular
okay.
meet. So yeah, I did that one season.
That
One.
triple jump, it just looks very awkward.
It is very awkward.
It would be awkward to master.
I challenge
didn't.
you to do a triple jump, Raji.
No, come on.
You look like
I
a triple
challenge
jumper.
you.
I might have the legs for it.
You can't
No,
You
run.
got the
anymore, come
tracksuit
on.
going. Let's go.
You totally
This is
got the
not a
tracksuit
This is
going.
This is a jacket,
Oh,
and then I
No.
have a pair of pants on.
oh.
No, that is
I
a
thought you had a tracksuit.
Oh,
that's
by
a
the
track
way,
jacket.
it's Pheidippides. That's the name of the guy, the Greek
Oh.
messenger.
Wow.
The Greek messenger who ran
and died.
to
How
notify
do people
the
not
victory.
know that name better? Like that should be.
Pheidippides?
Yeah.
That sounds like I will have the salad. And could you put the Pheidippides on the side?
Yes, always on the side.
Always on the
You
side.
do not want Pheidippides on your salad.
Oh man.
unless it's on the
So,
side,
yeah.
and you can distribute it
So the
as much as you want.
400 was you.
Yeah, I was. I
That's a
didn't.
long way, too,
that's
by
a
the way, to go
very
all out.
yes. You run, and I did 60 seconds once. Now they're doing. Women are running the 400 in like 50 seconds or 47 or something like that.
God
But
bless them.
God bless them. Yeah, and I ran the 800 once, and I don't remember a particular lap. My mind just went blank. I don't even remember.
How come we don't ever use the metric system unless it's for that? We go unless it's for track.
Well, we be Americans. We don't.
We're not allowed to change.
We're not. No, we're not.
Well, then why don't we go with yards? Why do we have to do an 800 meter?
Because the rest of the world does the metric system and they keep track of the records.
Should we should just adjust to the metric system.
Yeah.
I think it's too late.
Is it?
I think I do have measuring cups. One side is
yeah.
and then the other side is
especially in the time of smartphones where you can convert things real easy. It's just not necessary.
Doing
anymore.
it all the time.
I mean, you don't even
all
need
the
it.
time.
I mean, back then you need if we could all get on the same page, this would be a lot easier. It's like now you just go boop, 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 boop. Okay, I know.
And when you shop at certain stores, it is all liters.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you think are there any Will Huntings out there right now who are just like really good at math because they don't use their computer?
I see what you did there. Good Will Hunting.
Yeah. Well, I think that's his name, right? Will Hunting. And
he's
Will
good.
something.
He's good.
He's very good, and he's very smart. And
My
he can do
brother's
math very
one of
quickly.
those.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm sure there's
math
somebody
and
out there,
yeah.
but you don't ever have to work anything out. I don't think because you can just get on your phone. You don't have to remember phone numbers either. You don't have to remember phone numbers. You don't have to do math in your head.
No, you got to
you
calculate
got a
in your
phone.
pocket.
Yeah. I just know
Calculator
my
with you all
husband's
times.
number.
I just wish
I don't know my
somebody,
kids' numbers. I don't know. I know the newsroom. Okay.
Yeah.
I do. I know the
I know the
newsroom
text line.
number. I don't know that.
Yeah,
That's why
314-436-7900.
That's why it's written on these computers because
Yeah,
I couldn't
yeah.
remember. So I know two numbers: the newsroom number and my husband's number. That's it.
Could you? I mean, this is a weird tangent, but if you told me in 8th grade that at one time I would have a computer, a calculator, a compass, everything in my pocket all at once, I would have been like, "You're insane! How am I going to carry all those things in my pockets?" And then they'd be like, "No, it's this thing." It's
You
this
couldn't
one
have
thing."
told me I'd have two cars.
Your phone was a literal brick hung on a wall.
Yes, that's right. And then you had to answer it, or somebody had to answer it for you, and then or the phone would ring and you go, "I'll get it." I miss saying that. I miss saying in the
You
house,
can still
"I'll get
do
it."
that.
I do. Well, I actually do it. My phone, personal phone rings.
I
and
believe
and
that
I
you
say,
do
"I'll
that.
get
You'd
it."
be the only one there. Like, I'll get it.
I kind of miss doing that. Don't
I
you
miss the answering machine.
The answering
that
machine?
everybody else
I
could hear?
really miss
Oh,
the
yeah.
answering machine because it just was such an accomplishment. And I do miss phones. My father and my mom in a nursing home, and they have an actual landline. And so my dad called recently, and I actually heard he hung up. I could hear it.
Oh.
And I remember thinking, I think he just hung up.
Oh.
And I could hear it. And I hadn't heard a phone clanking and the
Like a-
slam down. I hadn't heard it.
Very
You
satisfying.
know what I miss about answering
It was
machines?
very satisfying.
Right?
That's what I'm
to
saying.
hang up on somebody?
Yes.
You know what I miss about answering machines? Sneaking into my classmates' dorm rooms in college and changing their outgoing message.
You are
Oh, you're
so
a real
not right.
prankster.
So great.
You are
aren't you?
terrible.
You do impersonations, or you impersonate them, or you say the most ridiculous things. We did a few times where we used a lot of bad words, and somebody.
Well, of course you
And
would.
then he played the message for us. It was his mom, like, Andrew,
Oh, yeah.
what is that message? What's wrong with you?
You're
Call
just
me back.
Just a real jerk.
Oh, it's so great.
Do you know why I miss answering machines? Because I used to have this old drunk landlord named Alice. And
wow.
yeah, Alice would call us when I had roommates years ago, and she'd say, "Hey guys, do me a favor. Don't put like rice down the drain. Just make sure you don't." And I'd say, "Okay, no problem." And then she'd call back 8 hours later after she had a bottle of whiskey,
Oh.
and she would leave us the most vile messages. "I told you guys."
You're killing me. Carol, none of that is why we asked you to stay.
Yeah, we'll talk
Are
about
you
Chris
able
Rock.
to still stay for a little bit? Or are
I
we
can
wearing into
stay
your
for a little bit.
rest
I am
time?
not sleepy. I thought I would be tired.
All right, we want to talk about you seeing Chris Rock because I'm jealous. I didn't get to see it, and he's one of my
Great
favorites.
seats. We had great seats.
Hang tight. We'll get to that on the show.
2 ways to listen to KMOX in your car. 98.7 in the city, 11:20 a.m. further out. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
I'm a martial artist, a pilot, mountain biker, hiker. The thing that brings me down is my feet. When my wife finally talked me into going into the Good Feet store, the salesperson there immediately started investing himself in my problem. This is not something that you could solve online. There's got to be somebody there that can help you find that fit. You put in the arch supports and your day becomes better and the clouds go away and it's a good life. I wear them all the time. Good Feet has saved the day.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive, Catty Corner from TGI Fridays, or in Shiloh, Illinois, across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Come in and try the Good Feet feeling today. Comfort, energy, performance, and pain relief. Good Feet arch supports are proudly made in the USA.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Hey, it's Debbie Monterey with a question facing homeowners. Would you sell your current home if you found your dream home? Well, of course you would. And that's why you need to call Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria has a program that eliminates the worry of selling your current home and having to find your next home with inventory being so low. Gloria is expert at finding listed and unlisted homes that match your specific criteria. Let Gloria know exactly what you're looking for, and she'll find your dream home in the neighborhood of your choice. Once Gloria finds a homeowner who may consider a sale but hasn't put it on the market yet, Gloria will inspect that home, set up a private no obligation showing, and negotiate on your behalf at no charge if you want to make an offer. If your offer is accepted, Gloria Lou will also help you sell your existing home. Learn more by calling Gloria Lou at 314-325-6888, 314-325-6888, or online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com.
It's easy to think all money managers are pretty much the same, but at Fisher Investments, we're clearly different.
Different? How? You sell high commission investment products, right?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission-based investment products.
Well, you must earn commissions on trades.
Nope, never at Fisher. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in our client's best interest. It's the highest standard of care for a financial advisor.
How do you know what's in their best interest?
We get to know our clients and then tailor a portfolio based on their goals and needs.
But you probably sneak in some hidden and layered fees.
No, we have one transparent management fee structured so we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, you really do look out for your clients.
That's because our top priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. It might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments. Clearly different money management.
Investments and securities involve the risk of loss.
Indoor plumbing, been around for decades, right? Well, when you have a problem with it, you need a plumber, and Beast Plumbing wants to be that plumber. I'll give you their contact information at the end of this, so get your phone ready so you can punch in their information. But when it comes to the flavor of the water that comes out of your tap, they have ways that they can improve that with different water filter systems, reverse osmosis systems. They are water treatment specialists at Beast Plumbing, and they can take care of that for you. Something simple like not enough water pressure coming out of your shower head, Beast Plumbing can take care of that too. And they've got another thing that's going on for the month of June. They've got $40 off all hose bibs. And a hose bib is a small faucet attachment on the outer wall of your home that gets you water to your backyard or to your driveway to wash your vehicle. No problem. Beast Plumbing's got that deal going. Get a hold of them as soon as you can by calling 314-698-1154 or beastplumbing.com. That's BEIS plumbing.com. Tell them Bo Matthews sent you to Beast Plumbing.
We go where you go. 11:20 a.m., 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
I'm back at another show on KMOX. Chris Ranji, Kevin Wheeler with you here. Amy Mark Scores is out. She'll be back on Tuesday, we believe, assuming the recovery goes well from the marathon, which we talked about in the last segment. Carol Daniel is kind enough to join us because we wanted to get your first-person view, your review of the Chris Rock show, because I'm jealous. I didn't get to see it. I love Chris Rock. I've loved him since he was a really, really young dude. I think he's amazing, smart, hilarious. How was it?
It was fantastic. I will say that there was one comedian before him, and I will say that getting into Stiefel was a half-hour experience, and it was blistering. And the ice cream truck drove by.
Ooh. Did you ice cream truck?
Did you get ice cream?
I did not.
Oh,
but I mean, so many people. You could see the heads turn to look at the ice cream truck, and then somebody walked past us and said that I low-key want some ice cream because it was so hot waiting to get in. And so they did this strange thing where you had your ticket on your phone, most people did, and they looked at your ticket on your phone and then had a piece of paper where they actually wrote down where your seat was, right? Your row and your seat number. They wrote it down on a piece of paper
Yeah.
and handed it to you. This was staff at Stiefel. And I gather they did that because they take your phone. They lock your phone up in a bag.
Oh,
I've never been to a big show where they do that.
This is my second time.
I saw Jack White a few years ago, and he does that. He gives
So
you a
it's an
pouch.
artist-specific thing.
Yeah,
Yes, it is.
It's up to them.
It is up to them. And so then, of course, your phone's locked up and you don't, because
They give
most,
you the pouch.
they
Right?
give you the pouch.
Yeah.
And you don't know, because back in the day, this was done 4 years ago. Most people printed tickets. So you still had a printed ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Today, most people have it on their phone.
Right.
So you had to figure out a way, Stiefel, and they did, to give you this piece of paper, which somebody ran off on an old mimeograph machine, and cut it up and gave it to you. So we get in after standing in line for 20 minutes or so.
That does sound horrible, by the way.
It was.
No,
I
not
can't be
good.
parted from my phone.
You have it with you.
Yeah. But you
It's
can't
with
put it,
you.
you can't put it in your pocket.
It's with you.
I
They
see,
lock
I
the
see.
pouch
Yeah, they
and
give
it's
you the
with
pouch.
you.
So you just can't. Oh man.
And
You
if
just can't unlock that pouch.
If you want to unlock it, you have to leave your seat and go out into the
Yeah.
concourse.
I don't
and-
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That
was
makes
with
me
me.
nervous.
I could feel it vibrating.
Oh, that would freak me out if I
Yeah,
can't look
that's
at it.
It's
Well,
very unnerving.
Is it see-through or is it not?
No, it is not. No. But
can't
here's
do
the
that.
deal. I would think that if I had a babysitter, that it would unnerve me if I had a babysitter.
Yes.
Right. But my kids are grown, so I'm
That's
like,
true.
whatever you got going on, you better
Don't call me
you
for
better
2 hours.
handle it for about 2.5 hours.
So I imagine you, like almost everybody else in the building, was there just hoping.
Yep.
Hoping
Yep.
he would talk about it.
Absolutely. So
Talk about what?
talk
It.
about the it.
What? It.
It.
What?
The
It.
thing.
It.
That.
And so
Smack!
yes.
That's it.
So because I knew my phone would be locked up, I took a notepad in there and I'm writing in the dark because the lights went down. One comedian before him, who I think was from Kansas City and was one of those guys where he picks out people in the audience and talks about them. He was very good. And so the first thing he said was, I just want to start by saying that I'm okay. That's what Chris Rock said. Before I start, I just want to say I'm okay.
Yeah.
He pauses. I got my hearing back. And then he said, which was so interesting to me, that I got my feelings fixed. That's what he said. I got my feelings fixed. And to me, if I were to guess, because he has been very open about being in therapy and
Oh,
going
yeah,
to
yeah,
therapy
yeah.
6 hours a day, 8 hours a day, every other day. And so I immediately thought of that he had some therapy, because that's a public humiliation, physical threat. And so I would imagine that the therapist he has been going to,
Yeah.
that this was just another topic.
I've never been smacked in the face. I know people listening like, how's that
Here,
possible?
lean over.
I've never been popped in the face.
Mhm.
And I can't imagine it happening in front of millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like millions. And you don't know what's coming, right? Like, I mean, you see him
I don't
walking
know,
up
man.
on the
Although,
stage.
no,
A guy coming at you
Yeah,
might be
no.
a little suspicious.
Well, no, I mean, you see that part, but you have maybe
Something's coming.
2 seconds to process it. Well, he started laughing like he thought.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
true. You
what
might have thought he was just coming up to play or something.
Yeah.
I mean, serious. I'm not being a smart aleck about that.
Right. I don't know. That's just it's
I
so
mean,
stunning.
the embarrassment isn't even the word. When I say public, a humiliation is different than embarrassment.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
To be publicly and to be humiliated, just you and a significant other is one thing, but to be publicly humiliated could send a person into a spiral.
Yeah.
I mean, it could easily cause a person, if you were an addict and you were off, you can get back on. You go try to find your drug dealer. I mean, that's what a public humiliation could do for someone who isn't altogether stable. But
and you're second guessing yourself, right? I'm sure he'd be thinking, did I handle that right? Should I have done something? I mean, I can't imagine you wouldn't.
He made a really bad. It wasn't funny. The joke wasn't funny.
No,
for him. But I think he handled the aftermath of the incident well.
Sure, he did.
And here's why, I think, because you are no doubt in settlement talks. And if he goes out on this tour, he added this Sunday show. St. Louis was one show on Saturday 2 weeks ago. He added the Sunday show. Ticket prices went up. Sales went up. So you're making your money in that way. But if he goes out to every tour and says, that Will Smith, he can just get, settlement talks go down the tube.
Yeah.
So you have to continue with grace.
Yeah.
And you just have to, so that every day that he is out there in front of a microphone and he doesn't dog Will Smith, the figure goes up.
And I know this has been discussed over and over again, but in the immediate aftermath, there was a moment he caught himself. He was about to say, I could go off right now.
Yeah.
And I think he had something right on the edge of his tongue.
And he thought twice.
And he stopped himself.
Rest of the show was great after that, too.
It was fantastic. He talked about everybody lies, Republicans lie, Democrats lie, everybody lies, Republicans lie. He said it over and over again. Republicans lie. And he goes, Democrats leave out key pieces of the truth. He talked about selective outrage, like those who play Michael Jackson but won't play R. Kelly.
We talked about that.
He wanted to know why Snoop Dogg has become the Andy Griffith of our time. The most trusted man in America. How did that happen? He also said Americans are addicted. We are addicted, you guys. We are addicted. We're addicted to attention.
Oh.
We're addicted to attention. And he said things got so bad with your previous president that Joe Biden, and he started doing this motion like he was a walking zombie. Joe Biden had to bust off of a monument. Just pull himself off of a monument. Joe Biden, Chris Rock said, been dead for 16 years, and he had to pull himself off a monument to come and rescue America. Joe Biden is 97 years old. He's 96 years old. He's 98 years. Joe Biden is 99 years old, and he feels like he had to come in and rescue America. There you have it.
Home values are through the roof, with buyers paying way over asking price. You'd love to cash out your home's equity, but you're not quite ready to move, and soaring interest rates make cash out refinancing too expensive. Plus, you'll only get a fraction of your home's equity. It makes no sense. I have a smarter option, Truehold.com. Truehold will buy your home for full cash value, and here's the best part. You get to bank all the cash now and continue living in your home as long as you want. It's life-changing, and Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance, too. Let's review. Truehold pays you 100% of your home's value in cash fast. Use your cash to do everything you've dreamed of: travel, pay off debt, or buy that new right-size home on the golf course. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com for the smarter, faster way to cash out your home's full value without having to move. 855-300-9993 or go to Truehold.com.
Attention business owners. This is a public awareness message from the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team. The war against hackers and ransomware is underway. The only way to prevent the war from impacting your business is to speak with the ThrottleNet cybersecurity team immediately. You need to act now. The ThrottleNet cybersecurity team is prepared to protect you against cyber threats. Schedule a meeting right away by visiting throttlenet.com/cyberwar.
At 1:30, it's 95 degrees under a sunny sky downtown at the Arch. The heat index is up to 107.
CBS News special report. At today's January 6th hearing, former President Trump is being accused of trying to pressure former Vice President Mike Pence to illegally flip the 2020 election in Mr. Trump's favor. Committee co-chair Liz Cheney.
President Trump plotted with a lawyer named John Eastman to pressure Pence to do so anyway. As the federal court has explained, quote, based on the evidence, the court finds that it is more likely than not that President Trump and Dr. Eastman dishonestly conspired to obstruct the joint session of Congress.
Greg Jacob was Pence's general counsel on January 6. He testified as the electoral votes were counted.
It is unambiguous that the vice president does not have the authority to reject electors. There is no suggestion of any kind that it does.
A former federal judge with longtime Republican ties testified that flipping the election for Mr. Trump would have resulted in a type of revolution. CBS News Special Report. I'm Steve Futterman.
And this just in, St. Louis County Acting Health Director Dr. Faisal Khan is resigning from that position. We'll have more at the top of the hour on KMOX. And right now, we've got a stalled vehicle 364 west past Bennington Place on the right side, 270 south past Ladue on the right side. Emergency vehicle 6440 east past Timberlake Manor Parkway, and the right lane is closed there. A crash on 270 west at New Florissant Road on the right shoulder. Weather is sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck, and Dave Murray says a mix of clouds and sun today. Hot and humid with a few spot storms and a high of 95. Overnight tonight, a few spot storms, very limited, the low 75. For tomorrow, the high 95. Still hot and humid. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunroofs, and more. Call them for a free estimate today. Now offering 48 months interest-free financing on your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. Right now it's 95. It feels like 107 downtown at the Arch. And a check on the Dow from Stifel, that's down 2.6%, down 803 points to 29,864. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Did you know that the number one fear when it comes to planning for retirement is running out of money? Makes sense, right? You work 20, 30, 40 years. Now what? Meet Steve All from the All Financial Group. Steve, how can you help us protect and grow our nest egg and also make sure that we don't run out of money?
Well, the two different things we start looking at protection is protection of income. And what we do is that's where we're going to make a pension style income so that we have ourselves covered, so that the basic expenses are covered for the rest of our life. The other protection that I like to talk about, what are you doing to protect the gains that you've had over the last couple of years in the stock market? We've had some volatility, and I think a lot of people are a lot more aggressive right now than they really should be. So I would like for you to come in. Let's sit down and talk about how aggressive your portfolio currently is. And let's talk about some of the products that are out there that are available, that your assets cannot go down due to market volatility, and the availability of growth, because there are things, cash, CDs, they're not paying anything. But we do have things out there that can give us protected growth. If you haven't heard about them, give me a call. Let's sit down and talk about it.
If you'd like to sit down with Steve one-on-one, get those questions answered, and most importantly, find out how you can also have guaranteed income for life. How does it fit and where does it fit in your retirement income plan? It all starts with a phone call. Call today, that retirement portfolio review, 636-230-8824. Lots of great resources on the website, yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, LLC. The All Financial Group and Retirement Wealth Advisors are not affiliated. The All Financial Group is a financial services firm that offers a broad array of products and services, including life insurance and annuities, licensed in Missouri and Illinois.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
KMOX is Cardinals Radio.
Friday night, it's the Cards and Red Sox. Ameren pregame show 5:15. First pitch 6:10 on KMOX and streaming on KMOX.com.
Chris Raji, Kevin Wheeler with you here on the show on KMOX. Amy will be back. Amy's listening right now, so anybody that wants to say hi, Amy, go ahead and say hi, Amy. And she also says she hates the show.
Well, yeah, I mean.
Not this show today, but like just
when
show.
she's on it.
Yeah.
Which I totally
That's because she hates
understand.
us.
You know, and it's
We're
so,
pretty annoying, you got to admit.
I don't think that I am.
You are.
No,
really.
I think
I am too. I mean, I admit it.
Well, I keep to myself. I don't bother anybody.
You're Professor Chaos.
No,
all
see,
you do is
that's
sit in
just-
the back and you're like, you're like the evil villain in your hands going in, like you're hoping for something bad just so
Right.
people react because
Right.
it's good content.
Yes.
You were like rooting for Miles Michaelis to blow the no-hitter because it's better content.
No. I was rooting for him to get the no-hitter mainly because it was going to make
No,
you
I know. It
feel
just
upset.
sounded better when I said it the other way.
No, but it would have been way
Sounded meaner.
way better for him to get it so that you miss out on your
On my-
one chance to see a no-hitter
Because
live.
the truth is, like we left the game because we didn't realize, we told this the other day, we didn't realize it was a no-hitter when we left because we were it was a client event. We were talking to people and, not really following it as closely as I do as a nerd. Like as a nerd, I watch every pitch, every game. I'm like that.
Right.
And I have covered, I don't even know how many hundreds of games. I have never seen a no-hitter in person at the major league level. I threw a no-hitter in 8th grade, but that's not the same thing.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and my friend Sean Cartwright made a diving catch in left field to save it for the last out. But I never seen a major league no-hitter. The best game I've ever seen was actually the Michael Wacha game. Michael Wacha gave up like a 3-hopper infield single in the first inning, and then that was it. Nothing else. And almost nothing left the infield. It was as dominant, almost not quite as dominant strikeout wise as the Kerry Wood 20 strikeout game, but it was that same kind of vibe. He just dominated. That's the best game I think I've ever seen pitched in person. Never seen a no-hitter. So that we get to the parking garage and my phone alerts Miles Michaelis, no-hitter after 7. I'm like, no, I've never.
I can't believe that
And then,
happened.
of course, you were rooting for my pain.
Yeah, I
And that's why Amy
absolutely-
hates the show, because we're like we are.
Well, how could I not root for that? How could I not root? Because
I mean, you could have empathy.
Well, no, I didn't have any empathy for you in that moment. And it's not because, Kevin, I've seen 3 no-hitters and
Okay, now we're
It's
Mr.
not-
Braggy
it's not
Braggerton.
because
Braggy Braggerton here.
I've
seen them.
seen 3 no-hitters.
They were because I was
including-
there.
including a perfect game, all in person, and maybe interviewed the guy who did it afterwards. No big deal.
Did you guys go out for drinks too?
We did not.
Oh.
No big deal though. So I saw all of those things. It's not because of that.
Okay.
It just I just wanted it to happen just so that you would flip out on the bus driver.
Yeah, and again, no flipping out was going on.
He flipped out.
Like mild cursing, S-bombs.
Amy can back me up on this.
Yeah.
She'll text us.
I told you guys yesterday. You guys are soft, man.
No, she'll back us up. So the story that I saw today about Australia, there are power problems, energy problems happening all over the world. We are certainly suffering them here. We've already heard of the possibility of maybe rolling brownouts, blackouts, whatever you want to call them, at some point during the summer, which is already crazy, stupid hot. 8 million Australians are going to be asked, and this is in New South Wales, Australia. They are going to be asked to, for 2 hours a night for the next several.
And you said, how many is it?
8 million people.
So that's a third of the country.
Yeah.
So that would be like 100 million people in the United States being asked to do that.
They're going to be asked to turn their lights off and all of their power for a couple of hours. They probably not the refrigerators and that sort of stuff, but all the lights in the house because of their
TVs,
energy crisis.
the whole thing?
Yeah, for 2 hours a night to help conserve energy.
Which
because
hours?
of the issues.
Is it any 2 hours?
It's going to be at night, I believe. I don't think it really specifies here, but
well, I'm just saying, like if it's happening while you're sleeping, who cares?
Right.
Although if it means air conditioning, oof.
As soon as I saw this, though, my first thought is, can you imagine if we are asked to do that? How we wouldn't go, you know what? We need to all pull together here as a nation because we have a crisis. Let's just do what we need to do to help us get through. It would not be anything close to that.
It's
It would
also
be-
winter there right now, by the way.
which is even worse, or it can be worse.
Depends on, it doesn't get
Depends on
super
how cold
though,
it
yeah.
is. People should not use electricity for 2 hours, even if they have a choice, is what they're being told.
Even if they have a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they're allowed to.
I don't know. That's what it says here, Kevin.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking at. But again, can you imagine if we were asked to do that?
I mean,
we'd collectively lose our minds.
We can't even ask to like stay away from each other and wear a mask.
No, or you know,
I would
vaccinated.
freak out more about 2 hours of no phone, no video games, no TV.
I think about this a lot.
What do you do?
Especially
What do you
during-
do if you don't have any of those things? I'm not going to read.
Oh, reading's silly. Who reads anymore? I think about this a lot. When the pandemic was really, and I guess it's happening now still, we're just kind of ignoring it. But when the vaccination thing was happening and we were being asked to do that, which I did, I know you did too, Kevin. There were so many people who were pushing back against that idea. And I thought a lot about what it was like during World War II when people were asked to scrap their metal.
Yeah.
To save all of those things, they were given ration booklets.
Had to
ration
stop
cards.
manufacturing cars, right?
Yeah, like
because they needed
were,
the metal for.
If that was us, like if that was,
we'd do it.
This, I don't think so.
We would.
I think there'd be a lot of bickering.
Nah,
I think there'd be a lot
if it
of
were
partisan
that kind
bickering.
of thing, we'd do it.
I don't think so because half the country would be spending their time criticizing the current president for getting us into a war.
No, I think all of that's true. But I mean, when you're looking at, because in that sense, it was similar to what we did after 9/11. We had a period of time there where we were okay with changes. And
you are right.
And it was because they were. Now, think about if that had then morphed into what World War II was. Because what happened, like, I mean, obviously, I'm equating Pearl Harbor to 9/11 in the fact that the attack is what brought us into the fight, right? So what followed that, though, was a confrontation of worldwide proportions against multiple nations on multiple fronts with a draft and the whole deal. I don't think that we now in that scenario would be any different than the people were back then.
But the difference between, and you mentioned 9/11, I would argue that things are so much different and hyper polarized now, and probably in part because of 9/11. I think it started with September 11th. Our hyper partisan culture got really, really bad in the years following 9/11. So initially, people who didn't vote for George Bush were like, yes, we're behind you. We are on your side. You're my president. His approval ratings went through the roof in the immediate aftermath of 9/11 because of the way he carried himself.
Mhm.
And he acted like a leader in the immediate aftermath of that. But we are years beyond that. And the hyperpolarization of this country is so great. I don't think that we would be, we're all in this together.
I do. You know what we do? There's only, I'll tell you what, there's only.
You're way more hopeful than me.
No, it's not hopeful. It's reality.
I don't think so,
The
man.
only thing we hate more than each other is a common enemy. And at this point right now, who's the common enemy for us to hate?
Russia?
But they're not doing. They're not doing anything to us. They're not attacking us. China's not attacking us. There are terrorist groups out there, but there's nothing. There's nothing on our homeland of the scale that we saw that would unify people the way that 9/11 did, the way that Pearl Harbor did. I'm telling you, if there was a Pearl Harbor, if there was something like that, there's only one thing we hate more than each other, and it's a real bad guy.
No,
it's a Hitler. It's a that kind of thing, and we don't currently have that as an antagonist to us. They exist. They don't like us. They don't have our interest at heart. They're probably trying to undermine us, using bots and trolls and hacking and all that stuff. But they are not bombing us. They are not invading us. They're not bombing a military installation. And I think that we've proven that historically, that if that happens, we are all right. For a short time.
Except this time around, if it happened, I think about this a lot too. If 9/11 or an event like that happened now, it wouldn't be we are all in this together.
Yes, it would.
No, it would not. It would absolutely 100% be whoever is in office at the time, the people who voted for the other person are going to blame the current president.
Sure they are, but they're still going to work together to fight the enemy. Yeah.
This never should have happened on your watch.
But it would happen eventually, but the initial reaction is to defend.
I think the initial reaction is to blame.
I think
Why
you
did
are
this
incorrect.
happen? And
I hate human beings as much as you do.
I hope you are correct.
We are terrible,
Kevin. I hope you're right, but I do not have that faith in us currently.
All right, we let's see. We have a couple of texts here. One says people today too damn selfish to comply. Another one says no way this country would do what is right. No way. LOL. So maybe you're right, Ranch.
I hope you are correct. Well, first of all, I
Actually,
hope nothing
let's
like
hope
that
we don't
happens.
find
yeah,
out.
yeah. I hope
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
like that happens. But I do hope that if something terrible were to happen, and I think we'd be naive to think that at some point for the rest of our lives nothing is going to happen. Something always does, right? I hope when it does, we are all in it together.
Just like the movies, all we need is a good speech.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Hey, St. Louis, I want to have an honest conversation about real estate. Never in modern history have we seen a market like this before, and most homes are receiving multiple offers, often well over asking. You can trust that when you hire us, we will market your home correctly and professionally while saving you money. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty, and I've been a broker for over 18 years and have helped thousands of my clients navigate every type of market, including this one. Why pay more than $4? 314-441-4444.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
CertaPro painters have powers beyond those of ordinary painters.
Power of timeliness.
We show up when we say we will, on time and fully caffeinated.
The power of transformation.
Also known as making your house look so good, your neighbors will be jealous.
The power of certainty.
That's your local CertaPro painters. The power of pro. Get your project started at CertaPro.com.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Spark Co-working St. Louis is a new collaborative workspace located within the PwC Pennant Building in Ballpark Village. The Spark Co-working community supports the thriving St. Louis entrepreneurial ecosystem, where you can live, work, and watch the Cardinals play all within one district. The all-inclusive workspace includes furnished month-to-month offices and suites with stadium, city, and arch views, concierge mail service, nitro cold brew coffee on tap, and so much more. Call 314-278-5297 or visit spark-stl.com.
Are you concerned about higher taxes, soaring inflation, and what's next for the stock market? Don't miss Your Retirement Professors this Saturday afternoon at 1 on St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
This is Corey with Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. You know how everybody says it's not the heat, it's the humidity? Carrier's Infinity HVAC equipment regulates the humidity in your home from wherever you are through the Infinity Smart Controller. Contact Air Comfort Service for a free estimate on a new air conditioner or HVAC system that's so quiet you won't even know it's running and gives you energy efficiency and comfort that can't be matched. Through May 28th, save $50 to $2,150 in Carrier Cool Cash rebates on qualifying equipment. For details, visit aircomfortservice.com. That's aircomfortservice.com.
Hi, guys. It's Andrew with Pineview Medical Clinic. Is erectile dysfunction damaging your relationship? Are you sick of the pill and all the side effects? Well, welcome to the future. We have a major medical breakthrough. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most advanced form of wave therapy. Backed by 60 clinical studies, our technology uses pressure waves to repair and open up blood vessels. We've helped countless men get rid of their ED, but what is the true end result? Their relationship, even their lives, improve drastically. If you're ready to regain your love life, call us right now, and not only will the assessment and ultrasound be free, we'll also give you a gift that produces immediate results in the bedroom. It almost never fails. This is worth $550, and it's free to callers right now. 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and experience what I call the happiness ripple effect. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now. 314-530-7777.
Looking to sell your house without all the hassle and pricey repair costs? Great, because Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis loves buying fix-up homes in any condition, as is, no fees and no commissions. Call 314-782-8000, and Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis will give you a cash offer right now. No strings attached. We buy inherited houses, divorce houses, trashed houses, even those my tenant won't pay rent houses. Call Chris at 314-782-8000 and find out how easy it is to work with us. That's 314-782-8000. Do you think your home will be difficult to sell? Easy. Our team will provide you with personal guidance through our short and simple process to turn your house into a pile of gold. Just call Chris at 314-782-8000. 314-782-8000. That's 314-782-8000. And let Chris worry about everything.
Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Find the car you want, new or used. Get it at Clement, get pre-approved. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. Everybody knows you gotta get it at Clement. ClementAutoGroup.com.
Transform your home into the most beautiful home in your neighborhood with Banner Construction, St. Louis's premier James Hardy and Pella window expert. Add curb appeal and value to your home by calling Banner Construction 314-569-1050.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
The show, sponsored by Straight Realty, your St. Louis area experts. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. More Amy, more Kevin, more Chris. What is this weird show? The Show on KMOX.
See, Raj, don't worry, be happy. It's going to be all right.
This song haunts us.
It is. Can I just say,
What?
I hate this song.
Well, of course you do.
I hated it back in the day.
Oh.
And don't get me wrong, it's like being happy is a good thing. It's just the whistling. Who whistles?
Happy people.
Nobody walks around whistling.
There are two kinds of people.
It's not 1920.
Two kinds of people.
I got to whistle while I
Whistle?
work.
What do you mean? How is whistling a 1920s
It's an old-timey thing. It's what like did on Abbott and Costello and stuff.
Kevin, it's not a yo-yo. It's a whistle. Everybody whistles. There are two types of people who whistle, though. Happy people or people who are trying to creep you out. And I guess there's a third, people trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
But usually the whistling is in a horror movie where you're hiding from the bad guy and the bad guy's trying to creep you out and you're underneath the table.
That was not scary.
And then he finds you. Well, it's scary if the guy's got an axe and you're hiding from him.
Not scary.
Well, no, I mean, sure, of course it's not. You earlier were eating what were you, like
Cliff
a Cliff Bar?
Yeah.
And you said as you were walking out of the room, like they're making these Cliff Bars smaller.
I didn't say it like Jimmy Durante.
Okay.
I'm like, one thing, these Cliff Bars are smaller than they used to be.
You said it like this. You said, these Cliff Bars are much smaller than they used to be. Anyway, there's a term, and I was trying to think of the term for that. And this is a real thing that's been happening, and it's been pointed out. In fact, here's a story written by CNET a couple of days ago.
I like to call them CNET.
CNET. It's called shrinkflation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real thing, Kevin. Shrinkflation. And what
is
this
that? What
means,
happens when the water's really cold when you go swimming?
No, that's shrinkage.
Oh,
that's completely different. I was in the pool. What this is about is companies, food products the companies are making the portions smaller by just a little bit. It's enough that you wouldn't really notice.
So the story was Doritos was 5 fewer chips in a bag.
Yeah.
Not the big bag, but like the individual serving size bag.
Yeah. So, and they're doing this to cut costs on their end. And it looks like you're still getting the same sort of thing. And therefore, they're not having to charge you as much. But they are. They're still charging you the exact same price.
And it does
but
say
you're
on the
getting
package
less
that
in
it weighs
return.
less.
It does. Well,
they don't really
it gives
advertise it, but it says it.
Yeah, I mean, it'll show you like it
used to be 16 ounces and now it's 14 or whatever.
Right. But they do that very much on the low key. So there is a word for what's happening with your Cliff Bar. It's called the shrinkflation.
Yeah.
So you're not imagining it. If you are like, man, this thing used to be, it's like this can of whatever it is, in your case, Diet Mountain Dew.
Yeah. The cans are still 12 ounces, but they did change the bottles.
Yeah.
Like they used to be 16.9 and now they're smaller than that, or they used to be 20 and now they're 16.9, whatever.
It's really amazing how just the shape of the bottle or the glass or the cup can make something look bigger, and there's really not that much difference between the volume that's in the cup. That happens with, for example, and I think everybody knows this, like you go to McDonald's, right? And you order fries, and you order the medium as opposed to the large. Like there really isn't much of a difference between the two sizes, but the way the container is laid out, it makes it look like there is.
I think you're wrong about that.
I don't think that I am, pal.
I think there's a lot more fries in the large.
Maybe in the extra large.
No.
Isn't there an extra large?
Who orders
fry?
the extra large?
I think there is an extra large.
I mean, I'm a large order kind of person, but I don't do the extra large.
Like the super size?
I think it's like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that still a thing, super size?
I don't know.
I don't either.
For a while, they said, would you like to supersize?
Yeah,
for,
no,
for
you're
50
right. You're
cents
right.
more
Is
or something.
supersize still a thing? That's what
I thought that it was. Is it not?
I don't know. Let's see.
I don't know
in the
either.
sign of the times, they're getting
Either that
rid.
or
No, they got rid of that.
They got rid of the supersize.
According to this story on NBC News, March 2nd. Wait, what? 2004.
Oh, they got rid of it almost 20 years ago?
Well,
Wait, supersize has been gone for
I don't know.
18 years?
Hold on. There's another link here. Yeah, they stopped.
That's been over for 18 years?
They stopped supersizing in 2004.
Really?
Well,
That's
maybe
what this says.
maybe they just changed the name of it or something.
I don't know, but they changed the terminology, which is what we were talking about. Because you would say you want that supersize. Because in 2003, my answer was yes.
Wow. Yeah, well, yeah, I always, yeah.
Yes, I do want that
just thought-
supersize for an extra 35 cents.
I just thought that you had to ask for it. They weren't asking you. That's interesting. I didn't know they got rid of it.
They used to be like, do you want to supersize that? Like, yeah, I want the number one with a, because I'm going to get that with a Diet Coke because you don't want those extra Coke calories. I want the number one with that. You want that supersize? Yes, I do.
Wow.
Did you do the supersize when you were doing
Of course.
I mean, who did? Well, you were in college then.
Yeah.
I was not. No, wait. You were in college then?
When the no, I had just, in 2004,
You were
I was
out.
2 years out of school.
I'll say I was class of 94. And boy, back then, supersize would have been like, yes, could you have a double supersize, please?
Oh, my God.
College would have been like pounded all. It's gone.
Could have crushed it without even blinking.
All right, good times, buddy.
Hey, do it tomorrow?
We'll do this again tomorrow. Amy, you're listening to us. Good luck. We'll check in with you and text you and bother you and send you some memes that you don't want to see. We have DGS coming up after the news on KMOX.
Hey, everybody, this is Charlie Brennan for our friends, the Doctor's Doctors. Greg Birdie, Ranj Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andrew Royer, who are known as the Doctor's Doctors because they have performed surgery on the eyes of more than 200 area doctors.